screen.
Sorry if it isn't obvious. I'm weird when I'm tired.
It's a good
No, don't worry. I
reason.
think we're used.
There we go. I'm on the right screen now. Hello. Hello. I know we're already a little scuffed, but it's my first stream in like a week, so we have to have scuff, right?
What's a VTuber without the scuff?
Pretty much.
Exactly.
A crazy pile of secrets.
Hey, well at least we're not AI, like Twitch seems to think we are.
Yeah, at least there's that.
That's so stupid. God.
And we also don't make AI, just for the record.
Oh.
I think whoever they had for a marketing person got a little distracted.
I'm not sure they have anyone specifically for marketing. I think they were just like, hey Jeff, the VTuber thing is popular. Make a tweet about it.
Yeah, without any kind of understanding about it at all. Oh well.
I would not be surprised if they were like, okay, which are the most popular VTubers? Oh, there's this one called Melody, something about an AI. Yep, that's it. Done. That's the tweet.
So, welcome for the best of 2022. It's been quite the year. So, if you haven't been here before, what we do is we sort of backtrack through the year and look back at some of our favorite games, some of the games we thought had some issues, and basically recap the year.
The good and the bad.
Yes. But should be fun. And we should have a fifth person. Nashi should be here eventually. They were just stuck at work. So.
Good.
Actually, they just sent me a message. That they're stuck in traffic.
No.
Oh no. This train is only big enough for one Nashi apparently, and it's me, Hate Nashi. Sorry for the bad joke.
It's okay. So, as I was saying, what we do is we go through the games, and I'm gonna start those off, which is probably gonna be in a pretty good place to start, with God of War for PC, because it came out on PC at the very beginning of this year. It was one of my most awaited games, and I'm gonna play the trailer in the back as we talk. But yeah, it was one of the most popular games for me to stream this year, and it was a great story. Obviously, the new one also came out this year, but only on PS5 and 4, I think. I think it's on both.
Yeah, I think it's only on one of them, though I might be wrong.
But yeah, definitely one of my games of this year. And it looks great and plays great on PC. There are a few things that were way too hard for me to actually do. But it was all in-game or post-game content, so I didn't mind too much.
Optional content, yeah.
Yeah, the stuff where you fight like Valkyries, and they kick your ass around.
Oh yeah, the
That I
Valkyrie
could not
fights.
do.
I remember seeing so many people struggle with the Valkyrie fights when the game first came out.
Yeah. But it's everything a port of a game to another platform should be. Especially when it's PC that it's coming to. Did anyone else have any other comments about it?
I haven't played it. I know. I know about the series. I know that it's good. Actually, if you want to play it, do you have to kind of play through the whole series to be able to?
No. You
Play the
can
new one?
start with that one. Definitely.
You'll be a little confused on some things, but not really.
Yeah, they do kind of
most of it pretty
explain it. Yeah.
Okay, it's interesting.
Like for context, if you want like context on stuff, then yeah, play the other ones. But it doesn't actually.
I'd say it
Subtract
gives you a
from anything.
decent amount of context. Not the
No, I mean, like-
specifics.
Yeah,
but
for specifics, but like otherwise, you're fine.
yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I didn't
Thank
play the
you.
earlier ones either. Because I've
I've
never
played the
had a
earlier ones.
PlayStation. So,
And I plan on playing this one soon.
Nice.
So that's what chat voted for, but yeah.
It's also on my list to play, and I will say this, I've seen many people play it, both on PC and otherwise. The game is fantastic. Highly recommend.
but that was the way we started out last year. Next. Oh, going right into it. It was also a Switch title, but it was on PC. And for some reason it's looking a little scuff, but that should be okay. Demon X Machina. I like mecha games. This is one of the few mecha games of the year. So I had to play it some. I don't think I played it on stream. Sorry. I was really bad at playing it, which is probably why I didn't play it on stream. Because the controls are a little bit difficult, but I had to try. So, it also gets a mention. Most frustrating controls, as far as I'm concerned.
Understandable, I can definitely see a lot of movement here.
Oh yeah. Besides, you have multiple different types of weapons using different keys. It's a lot.
Well, the description reminds me a bit of Nio, because that one, I remember when I first played Nio, one of my friends was watching and he was like, just put a controller, dude. You won't be able to do this on mouse and keyboard. And I was like, give me 10 minutes. And I remapped basically all of the controls to keyboard. It was hell.
Yeah, I still should go back and play it more sometime. But, yeah, definitely my coolest game to play with the worst controls for this year. So it had to get a notice here. But, yeah, it was fun. I like the character customizer too. You don't get to see yourself too much.
I feel like a lot of games do that. They give you the character customizer and then you basically never see the character again.
Too sadly true. But it was fun. It was a lot of fun for what I did play. Just super hard to control. So I didn't play too much of it. But I should go back. I should totally go back. After that one is Edge of Eternity. Sorry, I'm hitting all the wrong buttons. This has been something that they've been working on for like years now. I still haven't played the finished version, which finally came out this year. But, yeah, they've been working on this game for 4-5 years now.
I think
I've
it's
had
5 years.
in early access. I played the first parts before I ever became a streamer. It's a great JRPG, but it's not actually Japanese. It's just in that style. Because the devs are Western devs, but it was definitely made to be like a Final Fantasy game, but it's turn-based with like a grid system. Makes combat pretty interesting. The graphics are great. In fact, the graphics have always been super impressive. And it's one of those games that I definitely have to play at some point. I just haven't had time. I was already playing something else when it came out, so... Besides, you get to ride a giant kitty. Who doesn't want to do that? Who doesn't want to do that?
That's on its own makes me want to play it.
The second you brought up the mount, I was like, okay, Slug gonna want to play this.
That's the only hope that you need.
Yeah, what I have played was a while ago in just the beginning, but it was fun, and I do need to come back to it at some point. After that, we had Koromon. If you don't know Koromon, Koromon is a PC pixel Pokemon style game. Yeah. It's just like the classic Pokemon games when they were still on like the DS and the Game Boy. Different forms of some of the Koromons. I played it on stream actually when it first came out. Something else came out though, and I stopped playing it. I need to go back to it too. But yeah, it even has some of those things you expect with like Pokemon, like randomizers. So you can play it different ways. And those aren't like, you know, extra things that have to be like stitched in. And ironically, even their own trailer has a Pokemon trailer attached to it on YouTube.
I mean, that's something they attach after all, so yeah. I was about to say, hold on, isn't that based on what you want? But no, that's something they attached.
Yeah. Ironic. But definitely was a pretty fun game. It definitely felt like those old Pokemon games. And I need to go back to it at some point. Definitely. And next is definitely one of the games for this year, which I think is perfect for Sagi. Cat Cafe Manager.
That one is on my wish list, I think. Definitely
On my wish list.
It should be. It's adorable. You get to run your own cat cafe. Buying stuff for it. Furniture.
Put carpets on the floor. I saw that.
Yep. The cats get to play with stuff there. And of course, the cats are adorable. Adorable little fur balls. But, yeah. Definitely is a great game. I've played it.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I have a question. Why was one of the cats looking like it was trying to murder one of the clients?
Oh, that can happen.
Oh, that can happen. Okay, now I'm interested.
It's just like real life. Yeah.
Yes, clients and cats can disagree at times. Some cats don't like some clients. So, yeah, they're like fire and water. You need the right mix of cats to appease everyone.
Okay, that's fair. And interesting.
Yes. Clients come in different types. So, like, your customers can be the business people or the, how do I want to put it? The hippie types. Or laborers or punks. And different types of cats appeal to each type.
Mm.
Oh, and witches. I forgot the witches.
I'm sorry, how do witches factor in this?
Yeah.
Because it's cats. Come on. The witches need their cats.
Fair.
Fair, but at the same time.
It's totally a thing. Totally a thing. But yeah, they're one of the types of customers. I've played it on stream a little bit and off stream as well. It's a very cozy game to just play. And it never really ends. You just go to the next day, and then the next day, and then 14 more days. It's really
Is it
easy to get
something-
lost.
Yeah. I bet.
Yeah. Oh,
I mean, as long as you're having fun, I don't see an issue with that.
I also think you can play with the cats. It's been a little while at this point. But, yeah, I think that's part of, like, teasing the cats to join your cat cafe. Is to play with them.
Mm.
Oh, and customers can play with them too, once they're inside. So, you get to watch the cats and the humans play. It's
Nice.
adorable. Just adorable. Moving on now is another game that I played. Mutant Chronicle Rising. It's a side-scrolling RPG. Which is a kind of strange mix. You don't see those too often anymore. But,
Yeah, I feel like there was a point in time where a lot came out and then they just stopped.
yeah. It's pretty fun though. You get to play as different characters at times, and each can do their own little things. But you start out with a character that reminds me of like Lara Croft. She's got those two pickaxes, and that's her main weapons. She looks like she's gonna climb up a wall, but that's not what she's doing.
I mean, with that pose, that's definitely not what they were going for, so yeah, I agree there.
But yeah, it's a good bit of fun. Definitely an action side-scrolling game, but around an RPG core. Which makes it better, in my opinion, than side-scrollers on their own. I'm not a big fan of those, but this was very adorable. Other games came up, or I would have probably kept playing. So, yeah, it's one of those games I definitely need to finish at some point. If you haven't figured out the trend, I played a lot of games and then I didn't finish them this year.
That's completely fine.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Understandable.
So next up,
And kind of relatable, unfortunately.
next up was one that I had to add because it's a classic from when I was little. Teenage Mutant
Oh,
Ninja
yeah.
Turtles. This is basically the arcade game, which was at like every place that wanted to put a couple of arcade machines. just because they felt like it when I was little. So, like, certain restaurants or, oh, the occasional store that wanted to, give the kids something to do and spend all the parents', hard-earned quarters. I played way too many hours as a kid. So it had to be on this list. Because it was always like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was like one of the most common ones to find. And you'd always find it in the weirdest of places.
Yeah, it was a very fateful remake.
Yeah. I still need to play this, actually, with others. I don't want to play it myself. You need that arcade feel where some random kid would just join you.
Yeah.
Or at least that was always the way for me. I probably wouldn't play with a random person these days, but I definitely need to find some people to play it with. I think it would be hilarious stream. But, oh, and it's on Game Pass, so it's very easy to get people to play it. That's about all I had for that. So let's go to the next one. Rune Factory 5. This is another RPG, but it's also one of those life games. So you get to plant the
Life games.
crops,
Oh, yeah.
go fishing, romance people. So like Harvest Moon, but with role-playing game built in. So you go on quests, and you have to take care of monsters when you're not going swimming with your love interest. I still haven't played this one, but I played 4 for Valentine's Day last year. I haven't had a chance to play 5. I would like to, though. These games are so adorable. Plus, who doesn't want to just go farming for a few days?
Haven't actually played it myself, but I did watch many people play and they enjoy this one in particular.
Yeah.
Not my kind of game. There's a bit too much farming in the farming game, if you get my drift. I'm all about everything else. The farming, not so much.
I mean, that's what's so great about these games. You can pick the parts that you prefer and focus on those.
Also, you can... Might have to look into it a bit more then.
Yeah. I haven't, obviously played this version, but, I do know the whole focus of the game is that you can play it different ways. I think it would be another great one for Sagi at some time. I think you'd enjoy it.
It seems pretty cute. More kind of comfy, cozy.
Thank you, Boka. And I see
You're
you,
welcome.
Nashi.
Hey, Nashi.
Hello.
Hello there.
Hi, sorry I'm late. Oh, God.
You sound like a very tired Nashi.
I am. I'm tired. I'm cold. I got pelted by ice, water, and snow.
no.
All in a matter of hours.
Oh no.
That's bad and fair.
I mean, like, everything here was canceled today, so
Everything?
pretty much. Like, almost no places kept working today in my area. And it wasn't even really bad so far when I've looked outside. But, yeah, it was not looking so great closer to the lake. In fact, we have a blizzard warning for our county here.
Gosh.
But it doesn't look too bad right now. So, I'm hoping it's gonna stay like that. But you only missed a few things that we've talked about here, so you can... Oh, actually, we just finished talking about Rune Factory 5.
Cool.
So, next on my list, Stray.
Oh yeah.
Kitty
Gosh,
Simulator.
I loved Stray. I loved Stray.
Same.
Mm-mm. It's great to play the adorable kitty and do all the
A
kitty
pox
things.
on whoever created that ending, though.
I think the ending was right.
It was sad. I don't like
It
sad
was
endings.
sad. Yeah. At least he's okay.
Well, the
Mm.
cat's okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, Kitty needs to find all the other kitties and bring them back to town, so they can hang out with all the robots together and find really tasty noms.
Hmm.
But yeah, great game for doing all the kitty things.
Yeah, I love like just like even the motion and like the
Mm-mm.
things that is super just realistic cat behavior.
Yes. If you don't start knocking off literally everything on every shelf because you're a cat,
You are not cat.
Yeah.
exactly. I mean, once you're in cat mode, you just have to do it. Oh, no, there's paint cans. Knock those down. Knock those down.
All of them.
Can't miss any. Nope.
I love it when you first put the machine on the cat, like he has to wear it, and then he just like flop down.
It's like, I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't like this.
Yeah, they definitely nailed the feeling of just cat.
Mm-mm.
Very cute.
I kind of want to play more, even though I've finished, and I don't know what I'd go back to do. Well, yeah, I can play again, basically, but I think only, like, that one really vertical area did I not complete all the quests. I missed one somewhere. But I think that's the only one I missed in the whole game. And I spent like 3 hours wandering around that area, trying to figure out what I missed. But definitely wins for best cat game.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
Nothing else even came close. Mm-mm.
I mean, it is the cat game.
It is the cat game, yeah.
Yeah. Though, early on, I definitely did have a few control issues. I forget the details, but there's like one early section where you gotta like cross something and do it in the right time. And, oh no, you would get up to this like wall and you'd have to jump up just the right spot. But you'd have the things chasing you and they'd always catch me. I did it like 10 times because I couldn't quite figure out where exactly the jump point was. So I was always looking the wrong way. But otherwise, it was pretty good controlling it. I don't think there were any real issues I had.
One thing
So-
I had though was the motion blur that was automatically turned on for this game, and I didn't like really know about it. So the first, I think I streamed this game, and like the first 2 stream, I got really dizzy afterwards.
Oh
like,
no.
as I played through. But then, yeah, someone told me like, oh, actually turn that off, and then that was fine.
Okay, I have to interject here for a second to any devs who might in the future be watching this. Stop putting motion blur on default. No one wants it.
I always turn it off. I always look and turn it
No
off.
one wants it, and everyone is adding it for some stupid reason that I cannot comprehend.
Supposedly, it makes it faster to render fast-moving scenes, which is why they do it. But
See.
I think our graphics cards are probably strong enough to get around doing that anymore. So,
Does it really? Because my performance improves when I disable it for most of my games.
supposedly, it makes it look faster without having to be faster. So, yeah, the feature is actually meant to make it so it seems faster, even though it takes a little performance hit. But yeah. Anyone have anything else?
I'm good.
Okay, then I'll move on to the next one. Digimon Survive.
I want to play this so bad.
Me too.
I saw you play this one, Kami, if I remember.
Yes, I played a good part of it. But the thing that killed me in the end, and the reason that I haven't gone back to it yet, is that they didn't. Well, there's two things. The first thing is it doesn't have a good balance between, like, being an actual RPG, where you're doing tactical things and it feels really great, and being a point-and-click adventure. Yeah, they made them like two separate modes that barely interact, and you spend way more time on the point-and-click part, which doesn't feel as good as the, like, RPG part. The RPG part feels very good, but things get kind of old pretty fast because, for the most part, you have to grind it. But the other disappointing part is that the first time you play it, you're forced to get the worst possible outcome.
Oh, I hate it when games do that.
Yes, you're meant to play it more than once. And the first time you play it, there are two characters who can die that will, because you cannot stop it on your first playthrough. There is no way. It's only on New Game Plus playthroughs that you
Oh,
can
I
actually
absolutely
save
hate
them.
that.
Wow.
Yeah. And they're like just heart-wrenchingly tragic. Like, you know they're going to happen, and you want to stop it, and you can't. It's a roller coaster, and it won't let you go. It feels so bad. So bad. I like the game, but
Yeah, no,
seriously.
that loses a few points from me. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to be in full control of my destiny.
Yeah.
Not
I
even
mean,
full control, but if you're gonna allow something like multiple choices and endings and so on, let me, do the choices and have them matter.
apparently, the whole thought behind that is that you get to see how it originally happened, and then the next times you can fix it. Until you get the perfect run where you save both of them. Though, personally, the characters that die are just so, like, annoying that I wanted them to die. I mean,
Oh,
their deaths
no.
are tragic, but they were just such a piece of crap. Always being whiny and not wanting to help or be with the others. I'm like, I just don't like you anymore.
Hey, my
Go away.
antisocialness is fighting back against us now.
But if you can get through that first playthrough, I think it's much better. I've actually seen footage from other people's New Game Plus because I went hunting it down to see if I wanted to actually replay it. And yeah, they're not as bad the second time around. You get like the worst dialogue the first time. I don't know why you would want to do it like that. Because, yeah, you really don't want to finish playing that first time. But any subsequent attempts are so much easier. But I did like the game, for the most part. Those were the only two issues. I did like getting a chance to play some, Digimon once more. In fact, I think I played another Digimon-ish game, which I can't remember now. It's been too long, too many months. But I think I'll leave it there and go to the next one.
Hackers?
Was it that one, Soul Hackers? I think.
Well, that
No,
wasn't
Digimon.
exactly
No.
Digimon type. But I forget what I played. I know I'm thinking of something. I just
Was it Cyber?
would
Was
have
it
to go
Cyber
look it
Sleuth?
up. What was that?
Was it Cyber Sleuth?
Oh yeah,
Cyber Sleuth, yeah.
I played Cyber Sleuth. That was great. It's
That's
an
a
old
really
game
good-
now, but yeah.
Everyone that likes Digimon agrees that that's the best one right now to go with.
Mm-mm.
Mm.
But the next game in the list for this year was Marvel's Spider-Man for PC. Also another game that Sony managed to get right when putting it on PC. It looks good. It plays good.
I have a love-hate relationship with all of the Marvel games.
I don't mind, but I grew up with Marvel as like comic book brand.
Yeah, me too. And
I inherited all my dad's comics from the 70s. And except for like 2 or 3, they're all Marvel. So yeah, I definitely grew up on Marvel. And it was a fun game to play. I still need to play the other one, the Miles Morales version.
yeah,
I don't have the money to get it, or I would. But, yeah. I played all the way through, though we didn't get through all the DLC. Other things came up, and I didn't get to finish. But, well, no, I think I played most of the DLC. I think it was like the final DLC I didn't finish. I don't know. It's been a little bit now. I need to go back at some point. That's always the way it is this year. Something else comes up. Yeah, in fact, I put Miles Morales as the next trailer to play. So, yeah. This one I haven't actually ever seen or played, but Miles is a great character. I totally expect it to be a good game,
yeah.
especially since they're on the same engine. So, and he gets some neat things, like his stealth. I totally want stealth. Swish! I'm invisible. Track me now. And of course, he's got to fight the Prowler, because that's his uncle. I definitely need to play this.
His uncle is a prowler.
More like the Prowler, but oh, and of course, you know, I might want to put off this until the Into the Spider-Verse movie comes out. That'd be a good time to play this, I think.
Yeah.
So,
Sounds like an awesome time to play it.
Yeah.
that's when I'm gonna do it.
Alright, what is next? Oh, this is Soul Hackers 2. Definitely not the best game from the series, but it's still pretty fun. It's from the same company as Persona 5.
So, Atlas?
Yes. The name was totally not coming to me, even though I know it. But, yeah. I didn't like the characters as much as, like, Persona 5, but it's a much shorter game. This was, like, 40, 50 hours. Persona 5 Royale, for me, was 166.
Oof.
So, it's, like, less than half the game. But combat was pretty good. Definitely a little bit different than Persona 5. And it actually has an autoplay mode. If you know, you can just steamroll the enemy. You can hit the autoplay button, and it'll just auto-attack until everything on the other side is dead. Which is kind of funny. But, yeah. I did like the dungeons and such, though. And the story wasn't bad. I just didn't like the characters as much. But, yeah. Definitely a fun game. If you're at all into the Persona series or Shin Megami Tensei, which are all related, Soul Hackers is a decent choice. Especially if you want a shorter game. Though, it is meant to play multiple times. You can play New Game Plus, and you get more content when you replay the game. So, that is a very fun feature. I don't think any of you have played it, though.
I don't think I have, no.
I haven't.
Still, decent, definitely. And it's Atlas, so it looks great. So, next up is Grounded. The game where you get to play as the little kids who get shrunk and tossed out into the backyard. Which,
Taking Honey, I Shrunk the Kids to a whole new level.
Mm-hmm.
yes. It's also got that little bit of humor, which is nice. But, yeah, me and Sagi played this for my birthday, as well as Zelius and Honeydew.
That was fun.
Yeah,
I like the fact that you can co-op on it.
it's a very good co-op game.
Yeah.
And we played it before it was even finished. Someday we have to continue.
Oh yeah.
But, yeah. Zelius was building our house. We're out there exploring and finding new stuff.
Yeah. Keep getting killed.
I mean, that happened
by
to
the
all of us.
spiders.
Yeah, the giant spiders. And now the
Yeah.
koi. The koi can now eat us in the pond.
Mm.
Just wait, more ways to die.
Nom.
But we can also ride the ants in the final version. That's gotta be
pretty
a
cool.
plus, right?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Definitely, I think we need to get around to playing this again. It's just always so hard to get enough people together to play like a big collab game that needs multiple episodes.
Yeah, definitely. This one definitely would needs like multiple streams and stuff.
I think it's supposed to be a 40-hour game. So that would be like 10 4-hour streams.
Yeah.
So that's a lot. I still want to do it, but managing is the hard part. But yeah, it's a fun game. Combat's okay. You're not really coming to play this game for the thrill of the combat, but it's not bad. It actually reminds me a little bit of like Valheim. Definitely some similar aspects to them.
All right.
Though more humorous, definitely. Valheim is not really there for the humor. Alright, and next on my list is The Legend of Heroes. Trails from Zero. This came out a little bit ago. This is actually an older title that was on PSP, I think. And it's finally coming to modern consoles and PC. Well, it did. Like a couple months ago. I love the Trails series. I've never played Zero yet. But Zero definitely is an updated take on the classic game. It's got that definite classic JRPG feel. And it definitely looks like a game from 10 years ago. But it's meant to, because it is. They did make the graphics a little bit prettier, though. Updating the sprites. Smoothing them out so they don't look quite as, how do I want to put that? Jarring? Pixelated? Though, some of the designs are still, funny because of the shapes you had to make objects back then. But, yeah. If you're interested in a good tactical RPG, this is a good one to try. Especially if you like older games. And all the Trails games go together. Their stories interlink. There's now like 30 years of Trails stories. And they're still all connected. In fact, new ones come out next year. So, yeah, I definitely need to play this. Obviously, though, if you're not into JRPGs, it may not be the thing for you. It's gonna look actually a lot like if you played a enhanced version of like Final Fantasy VII. They're from about the same time period. And next was Astergos. I played this on stream. This is a Souls-like game, but it's not quite as harsh as some Souls-like games. So, I was able to do most of it. We didn't finish, though. I got to, like, 60-ish% done. before I got distracted by another game. But, yeah. Graphics look amazing. A little bit anime inspired, at least for the main character, but I don't think that's a bad thing. The city itself is highly detailed. It looks so pretty. So pretty. And of course, the main character is cute. So, there's that too. Oh, and it's got a huge tree of different abilities and weapons and things you can do. I forget which weapons I actually used. It's been a little too long. But I know I specialized in 2. But yeah, different ways to fight. So you get your choices. And they're all supposed to be equally capable, but it is very much a Souls game. So, I'm sure some people out there have done the math and figured out some are better than others. Though I think I'm the only one that's played it, so.
Yeah.
But hey, you can't beat a fight with 2 giant statues which try to beat you down. Come on. And on the 12th time you do it, you finally succeed. Yeah, I think this is the closest I'm ever gonna come to playing a Souls game. I mean, a real Souls game. Oh, next up is Triangle Strategy. As you can tell, my list is full of JRPGs. Although this one is a tactical JRPG. In that the combat is actually on a grid. So it's like Final Fantasy Tactics.
Or Fire Emblem?
What was that?
Or Fire Emblem?
Yes. I'm not sure how much like Fire Emblem. I still haven't managed to play this one. But it's published by Square. So it definitely feels a lot like Tactics. Also probably a lot like Tactics Ogre, if you've ever played that. I've heard nothing but good things about it. Oh, and it has a touch of that, how do they call it? Paper pixel style? That, like, what was the name of that series? Oh, gee. Octopath Traveler? You know how, like, the buildings pop out like they're 3-dimensional? It feels a lot less like static 2D, even though, you know, all the backdrops are basically painted. So, it's a fun game. I still need to play it. But, yeah. I've heard only good things about it. Which is one of the reasons I definitely have to play it. I'll jump to the next one. Which was Uncharted, Legacy of Thieves. I've never played the Uncharted games, but they're now on PC. And it looks so good on PC. I mean, things look crisp and high def, even though the games themselves are like, what, 10 years old? I think it uses the same engine as, like, the Spider-Man games. Or at least they look like they do. But, yeah, I definitely need to play these at some point. They're on my must-get list. I've only ever heard good things about the story. So, yep, that was my next one. Almost at the end of mine. And of course, this is where we get Persona 5 Royale. Which is definitely what I consider to be the best part of the year. God of War on PC was pretty good. Spider-Man on PC was pretty good. Persona 5 Royale on PC was excellent. It ran at a steady 120 frames per second for me. I think it dipped to like 115 at the worst, which is pretty impressive. But yeah, they upped the resolution of all the textures, so it looks super clean. Not like it was made back before like 1440p was a thing, or even higher. And it's such a great game. Totally worth playing. Totally. In fact, I keep wanting to play it again as I watch this trailer. And I've already beat it. Which should totally say something. In fact, I did a really thorough playthrough. We maxed out everything. Went on all the adventures. Had all of the best gear. Collected all the Pokemon equivalents.
Nice.
Yeah. If you've ever thought about playing one of these games, this is definitely the one. Definitely. And my last game to talk about. Star Ocean, The Divine Force. Sorry, had to cough. I am a fan of the games of the series, the Star Ocean games. I've only ever played 2 of them, but they actually made them into anime at one point. So I've had a little bit of experience with the even older titles. I love the stories that they put in the Star Ocean games. However, this entry was only really good if you played it on console. The PC version had all sorts of issues. Which makes it a good thing I didn't try to play this one. Even though I really, really wanted to. But yeah, worst port to PC all year. Some people just outright can't play it. It just won't run. So, yeah. Definitely some issues there. I don't know why. They got it to work really good on console, so I have no idea why they had so much problem with the PC version. But it's a great mix of science and fantasy. It reminds me a lot of like Phantasy Star Online, though obviously not an online game. So if you like that feel, definitely a good game to check out, though just not on PC. I think they're trying to fix it, but I don't know. We'll have to see if they get there. So, Raza, do you want to take over? Raza? no.
Where's Raza?
Raza, I know it's late for Raza. But hopefully... you just need to use the restroom or something.
It's helping.
Because I do have his list, but I don't know what he wanted to say. So...
I thought I heard him, but... and then he just went silent.
give me 1 sec. Well,
That sounded like snoring to me.
it's quite possible. So, while we're waiting to see if Raza comes back, do you guys have anything you want to talk about? Maybe a favorite game of the year? Or even a
Yeah,
worst game of
Viking.
the year?
I don't think I can choose the best one.
I know it is hard.
It is hard. I don't know if I feel like Eastward was out last year, like late last year rather than this year. But I think they re-released it on like a new console this year. But that
Probably.
would probably be like one of my most favorite because of I guess just from the style of the game itself, pixel art. The story was pretty good, and the characters are also super cute and like relatable in some ways. And yeah, like the game itself has a lot of like also humor and different elements to it. And yeah, it's just a good game. If people haven't played it yet, then I definitely would recommend.
Since I didn't know about it earlier, I couldn't pull up a trailer for that. But, how about anyone else? Anyone else have anything? Nashi? Boka?
Well, there are a couple games that I did enjoy that came out this year.
Okay.
Yep, that's snoring.
Oh,
He's dead. He is dead.
oh, poor Raza.
I knew that sounded like snoring the first time. Just knew it.
And he had so many things he wanted to talk about. He gave me this whole long list.
Yeah, I didn't really give a list because I didn't really know what to talk about, and there was only like 2 things on my list technically that I played from 2022. But the one game that I really like playing, still kind of do off and off, Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel.
Well, Yu-Gi-Oh! was actually on his list. So I can run the trailer for that, if you want to talk about it.
Okay. Well, I mean, at the beginning, it started off like having all the band list from that month and stuff out in the game and whatnot, and it has like a gotcha type feel when it comes to like drawing cards and making your own deck and stuff. And yeah, I thought with the gotcha aspect, it was interesting, but also at the same time very tedious. All because you don't really know what you're gonna get, and if you end up getting something that you don't want, then I guess in a way you're not really in a good position to make a deck. But that's just me. But later on they added like a casual mode where not all of them, but most of the band cards from like 2005, 2004, etc. You can now craft them down and do like old school and have like old school type duels. So if you're a casual Yu-Gi-Oh player, then the casual modes and like making and then like reminiscing about old school Yu-Gi-Oh is best for you. And if you're competitive, then that's fine too. There's something for everyone in it.
I am not the card game type, but I think people did pretty much like the game.
Mm-hmm. It was definitely a lot of fun, and the solo story modes also like provided backstories on certain archetypes, which was kind of cool. And you didn't necessarily need to spend money because with the solo modes you get like the in-game currency as well. And also doing like the events and stuff, it also provides you a way of getting currency. So there really wasn't any need to spend money. It was like it's definitely like a free-to-play gacha game.
Well, that's good. All the gacha games I play. Oh, actually, that should probably be another thing I talk about. But I don't play a lot of gacha games because every time I do, they want to suck up like $50 a pop for like nothing.
Mm-hmm.
It really drives me crazy. I will leave this up as I search for another trailer. Alright, so I will talk about my one gacha game for this year, which was Tower of Fantasy. I got kind of tired of playing Genshin Impact. Mostly because I didn't have anything to do in the game for like months. So I stopped playing earlier this year. But when I'm not listening to the snores or hitting my face into my mic, I have been playing Tower of Fantasy since it came out. Not a lot, and I don't have anyone to play with, but which I think would actually make it a lot easier for me. But, yeah, I'm stuck with pickup groups whenever I need to play with others. But, they really want you to spend money, like, really badly.
Yeah, we're not doing that.
Yeah, like, they just had an event. And, part of the event is things that you really need, but the only way to get them is to buy lots of, they call them weapons, but there are characters attached to the weapon. So, you'll roll for, like, the last one was Lynn, who, has a giant fan that she wields. And, the more times that you try to get her, the more points you get in the event. So, I think I used all of my saved currency for 8 rolls. I neither got her, nor did I actually, like, get very far. Because, I think it was like 20 or 40 pulls you would have had to do to, well, pulls of 10, I should say. Yeah, these are multiples of 10, so I did like 80 pulls. And they wanted you to do like 400 or 800.
Jesus Christ.
Nope.
I'm
No.
like,
No thanks.
that would be like $200 minimum. And I had a
Of
lot of
course they would want
saved
that.
currency, or I would have, you know, run out much sooner. Much sooner. But yeah. They really expect you to go hog wild with real money. And I'm like, that is not happening. I have never bought. I've never bought any of the in-game currency. So, yeah. As a free-to-play player, I am definitely not at the top of the stack in that game. Because some people really do drop like $500 every time there's a new character. Because you can't just get the weapon. You have to improve it 5 times. And you have a 5% chance to even get one of the weapons of the right tier, let alone the specific character. So yeah, worst trend in gaming for me is gacha games. They all want way too much money. Way too much. And they make me feel so bad that I can't. So, anything else?
There is one game. There is one more game. I am sure that nobody else has played it. Well, besides me. But the other game on my list was WW2K22. I played it well, actually I got it during the day one when it came out and everything. And it was definitely a step up from its predecessor. It wasn't a dumpster fire, which was great. It was very functional. Not too many glitches. And honestly, the story modes were very enjoyable. Oh, and the character creation. I like that.
I have never played a wrestling game. Well, I have to take that back. I played the demo for the wrestling RPG. I forget what it was called. Let me turn the screen off for a sec.
Yeah, that's fine.
And I'm gonna look it up. Because I actually wish-listed that. I don't think it... Well, no, I do think it came out. Let's see if I can find it. Samir, I'll actually have to put these in order. Oh, WrestleQuest. That was it.
Ooh.
It was a super cute game. Let me see if I can pull up a trailer for it. I know there's definitely a trailer. Okay, let me turn it back on. So it's a pixel style wrestle combat game where it's in the style of like action figures. You can tell that they like have removable parts.
Mhm.
And it's just a riot of humor.
Oh, I remember seeing the trailer about this.
Yeah, it had a demo. And that was a very funny demo. It's pretty good. Pretty good. That's the only wrestling game I've ever played. So,
They're pretty good.
yeah, it's not out
But,
yet, by the way. I double checked. So,
Ah. Well, definitely. I might play it at some point.
yeah. It would be a good thing to take a look at. Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
So, Boka, did you have anything?
Boka?
I think she may have fallen asleep as well.
Oh no!
I had to mute Raza.
That's not good.
I know it.
We're too down for the count.
We are. We are. If you guys want, we can always switch to what we're looking forward to most next year.
What is coming out next?
I do not have a list for what is. All I have is my list of upcoming games. But since I started off, why don't one of you two go first?
Well, I'm not sure what's gonna be upcoming in my opinion. I would have to see. I would have to see a list of what's on the horizon.
Suggy, how about you? Do you have anything you're looking forward to for next year?
Not sure if like I know about what's coming up for next year specifically. I think that's the main thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you know of a game that's coming out, or if you have a list, then maybe I can like kind of like go through and see what's coming out. I'm going through
Unfortunately-
my Steam to see if there's anything that I've wish list.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing, is going through my wish list.
Oh, I have one. I have squirrel with a gun. You play as a squirrel.
With a gun.
Yeah, so like essentially you play as a squirrel and you hold a gun and you essentially just go around killing people.
Oh my god, the squirrel has a Glock!
Yeah.
That's gonna be funny. I need to see this. I need to play this.
Let me see if I can grab a link to this. I'll put it in the channel.
Let me try to pull it up.
I don't know if it's coming out next year or when, but it looks very chaotic and I'm all for it.
Okay. Let me pop the capture back in. And we'll see the squirrel with a gun.
Oh my god. Oh my god, that gun is so big!
Why does he have a Mac 10?
Did that slow sweep a slow sweep a squirrel?
Oh.
Oh my god, he did!
Mugged by a squirrel.
Oh my I'm so playing this. I have to play
Yeah.
this.
Like the moment I saw this, I was like, "Yep, that
This
is
squirrel-
definitely."
This squirrel is the MVP. Oh no.
Blood. Jumping.
That's one way to platform. Oh my god, I'm gonna bully so many people with this. Yo, that is overkill!
So cool though.
I love it. I love it.
Oh no. Hidden puzzles.
Do whatever you do to get the nut. Okay, yeah, I gotta play this.
Yeah.
There are a couple on my list.
Yeah, actually, because I wish list this, so I now can see. I think I don't know if it's definitely 2023, but a Nirvana Cyberpunk Bartender Action, because I've played Valhalla, so the first one. So I think Nirvana is coming out soon-ish, and then same type as like visual novel pixel art is Coffee Talk Episode 2. That one is definitely in 2023 as well. And I'm definitely gonna be playing them.
Oh, Final Fantasy 16 is coming out in 2023.
Nice. Will it be on PC?
PC version not until 2020.
Ah. Oh well. I'll have to wait.
Unfortunately, you all need a PS5 to play Final Fantasy, apparently.
Yeah.
Which I don't have, so.
Same.
I am looking forward to the Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection, though. That's coming out in 2023.
Nice.
I'm not sure exactly when some of these come out. But. Oh, that's newer. Oop. No. No.
What's up?
I accidentally erased all the channels that I had lined up. I
Oh,
clicked the wrong
no.
button.
Wait, hold on. Is that Raza? Is he awake? You were snoring!
Are you back, Raza?
Yeah, I was. Huh,
Hi,
odd.
Rosa.
Odd. Okay then.
Yeah, I asked a while ago if you wanted to take your part of the titles. And we heard nothing
I
but
must-
snoring.
I must have missed it. Huh.
If you give me a minute, I can pull up maybe some of the things I had. Because I accidentally closed all my other windows. Or tabs, I should say. Oh well, I might just have to. Yeah, it didn't really save any of the things I searched.
Oh no.
Not unless I'd actually looked at the tab. Which I did not for most things. Right. Give me a couple of seconds here. It was a lot easier to do this when I could do it ahead of time. Actually, sorry.
You like open all like history.
I did, but it didn't save all the individual tabs.
Right.
And it didn't save this morning either.
I heard something.
Yeah, it did not do what I wanted. Oh, come on. Okay. Well, I have 3 of them up. So, Raza, if you want to start with your first title.
Okay then, let me just pull up the list. There we go. So, if we have the same list, I'm assuming that we do.
I would hope
First
so.
up should be Monster Hunter, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so Monster Hunter Rise on the PC. I'm gonna be honest, I've not finished the first one, but so far I'm having a blast with it. And by the first one, I mean the one without the expansion. So base Monster Hunter Rise. I know Sun Eater, I think, was the expansion for it. Also released on PC. I've not gotten to the point where I've done with the base game, and it's a fantastic game so far.
I know a lot of people like it.
It's also bring a lot of the past monsters that were not in World or Iceborne. So I'm also a fan of that one. I will say this much. Graphics-wise, it's a bit of a step backwards, if you ask me, compared to World. But it also feels like they focused on different areas for that one. So some people might like it, some people might be put off by it. It's still Monster Hunter at the end of the day.
I mean, they made it mostly for Switch, so.
Yeah, that's probably the thing. This one was made for Switch as well. World was first and foremost made for PC, I think. Or at least intended.
Yeah.
There we go. Next up, Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Master.
Which you missed a bit of conversation on, since Nashi had a few things to say.
Yeah, I did. I think I did. I forgot to say that I had to step back a little bit. Yeah. So, this one, I'm gonna be honest. I used to be a big Yu-Gi-Oh! Fan. I can't say I'm a fan of the new Yu-Gi-Oh! The current gen Yu-Gi-Oh! The one that Duel Masters is pushing and showing. But I can see the appeal, and it obviously has had a great success overall. That's about all I have to say about it. Next up, since I do remember my list being quite large, so we better pick up the pace a bit. Next up, Pokemon Legends Arceus. I have not played it, but I do want to say that out of all of the Pokemon games I have watched other people play so far, I think this one is my favorite. And it's an interesting direction that I want to see more of.
I mean, I think it was the first open world Pokemon.
Yes,
So,
like true open world Pokemon.
yeah.
Next up, Lost Ark.
Microtransactions the game.
What?
Microtransactions the game.
Oh no! There's a special place in hell, hint hint, for that one. But yeah,
you're about talking about its cousin, the demon one. Well, this one's its cousin from Japan.
of sorts. I'll say this much: you can at least play this one as a free-to-play player and enjoy it.
No, that's nice.
So that is at the very least a possibility. Unlike its immoral cousin. Again, hint hint. Wink,
Yeah.
wink, nudge, nudge, all of that.
Yep.
But I did, however, do one thing that I am thankful for. I think it showed people that there is a place for Diablo-style RPGs, and people do want more of that. And for that fact alone, I am grateful that it was a thing.
It did look pretty. I'll give it that.
It did look pretty, and for what it's worth, the content, the quests, and all of that were actually decently well thought out. Like, there was good variety within them, there were a lot of mechanics, and so on and so forth. It wasn't just the, here, pay this much to progress.
So,
Which again was interesting to see. Next up, Cyberpunk. I'm probably gonna be in the minority here, but I really hate Cyberpunk 2077.
You're not in the minority. It's just that everyone's kind of. Everyone likes the anime, and then they attribute it to the game when the game really doesn't serve.
Yeah, here's the thing.
So why should it
I
get-
watched the anime long after I tried to play the game.
I mean,
I say try and play the game, and I'll get to this is related to why I really kind of have a odd relationship with the game. For me, even currently, the game is as bad as it was on launch day on PC. I cannot play it.
Sounds
It
about
is-
right.
Physically unplayable for me. And the worst part is, I've seen people play it without bugs on PC. Heck, I've even seen, I think, Kami and Zilius play it.
I have. I played it on launch, and besides a few weird T-poses, it went fine. So,
Yeah, no one in my game has a face, by the way. It's all clay people. Among other things, which are far worse. So yeah, I physically, even if I really want to, cannot play the game. Like, I cannot get out of the tutorial, literally. So sadly, as much as I know it's an okay game now, not a good game, an okay game, there's a difference. It's no Witcher 3, let me put it like that. But if it works, it's an okay game. Problem is, it doesn't work here always, so I'm living proof of that, unfortunately.
yeah, you've had more issues than anyone else I know. So,
Yeah.
it
But hey,
wasn't
if
really
you-
this year, but
Yeah, it wasn't really this year, but I feel like it's worth a mention at the very least.
sure.
After all, a lot of the updates that made it better for a lot of people were this year. A lot of people saw the anime and got an interest in it this year, so yeah, it's worth mentioning. Now, Destiny 2, the Witch Queen, is here, however, for a singular reason. So that I can, once and for all, tell to people, stop deleting content from your game, goddammit, if you want me to care about it. There is so much deleted content in the Destiny 2 game. Content that some people have paid for, mind you, that I've lost track. I've legitimately lost track of. And I want to care about the game. Because the stories themselves, not bad. However, it suffers from the symptom of tell, don't show, which is like the worst thing possible. you are told of all of these fantastical beings, these little galactic wars that exist and happen in the world, and you're kind of late to all of them. They kind of already happened, and you're out of luck. So yeah, not the best motivator to keep playing your damn game. Also, in
You're
case it wasn't obvious.
professional at being late.
Yeah. In case it wasn't obvious, a lot of there are several games on my list in which I place them there just as a I'm gonna take the meanest outlook on them because they kind of deserve it. The next one, however, is the complete opposite of that, and it's Elden Ring. I cannot begin. Now, Elden Ring is the complete opposite experience from me compared to Cyberpunk. Everyone had issues with it at launch. I'm the one who had zero issues with it on launch. None. It worked smooth as butter.
I didn't play it, so I can't comment on that one.
Also, I have to say, people have complained about reusing assets and bosses and whatnot. Even if you take that into consideration, the amount of content, bosses, attacks, weapons, areas, etc. What the team from Software have done is essentially give us Dark Souls 4, 5, and 6 all wrapped into a single bundle and named it Elden Ring. You have the bosses that are basically a call-out to all other games, as reused, rehashes, whatever. You have the completely new and unique stuff. And it all works perfectly together. Not to mention the fact that it's open world changes the formula so much. Because Dark Souls was never the type of game where you have one singular path and you need to go there no matter what. Sure, some of the games were more linear, some less so. But you had this one moment right after the tour where it was like, okay, these are the paths available to you, just explore and do your own thing. Elden Ring takes that to a whole new level, and I think it's doing a fantastic job. It's also... Now here's the weird part about it. The one complaint some people have. And I can see why. And it's the story. And the thing with the story is that, for once, it's not cryptic enough for a lot of people.
I didn't know that was even a thing.
Yeah, no, deep in the Elden Ring community and the Dark Souls community, people are actually complaining that there's not enough mysteries left. Everything was actually explained well for once.
I mean, they did have a professional writer. So,
You mean R. Martin?
yes.
Funny story about that. He wrote the setting, then this is a list from a few interviews that I've seen. He wrote the setting and the story and so on. What the guys did, they took the setting and completely ignored the story basically and made their own.
Sounds normal for them. Very much.
Yeah, it's very much on brand, I'm gonna be honest. But yeah, only good things to say about it. If it's the type of game you like, you will absolutely adore it. No questions asked. The visuals absolutely stunning. I cannot think of a single moment other than actually no, even some of my death screens were quite visually stunning, but that's beside the point. I cannot think of a single moment in the game that doesn't look like it could be a desktop wallpaper. It just flows very well with the feel that it's going for at the specific moment. And on that high note, let's take a fall with Babylon's Fall. And you would have expected something that's named after a fall to, not take the plunge in all of the wrong ways. However, that's kind of exactly what happened with this one. I haven't played it, but I've seen enough of it to know that someone done goofed with this one. Someone done goofed pretty bad with this one.
Overeager. They wanted to go the Souls game route.
No. If they wanted to go the Souls game route, that would have been fine. They wanted to go the live service route.
Well, I think they wanted both.
With the Souls game. They basically... Someone put it very well on, I don't know which forum was it, or comment section or whatever. They wanted to make Elden Ring, but they had Ubisoft make it. And as you can imagine, that was not a good result.
I mean, it is published by Square, so...
Yeah,
These
there
days,
is that.
they've lost their minds.
True. True indeed, which is sad because I do remember them having some good games in the past, so...
They've made a lot of good games in the past.
Yeah.
It's just their current CEO seems to have lost his marbles. Quite literally. I mean, he sold off all the Enix part of their titles. So,
Yeah, that's... I can only hope they sold it off to a better company.
we will find out.
Now, Stranger of Paradise, on the other hand, this one's a bit of a mixed bag. I think the only issue people really had with it in the end is that it got very grindy at certain points.
Yes, from what I've heard.
It was decently liked, otherwise the story was okay. It wasn't anything revolutionary per se. But it was decent, it was there. The characters were... At worst, they were there. At best, they were a little bit likable and relatable. So you did care about the story. But yeah, it got stupidly grindy at times. That, and they reused a very annoying type of enemy. And I do have to question, what is it with games in general, especially those that try and take a little bit of the Souls formula, having the horse type enemy be the one that they reuse? Because it's always the horse. Dark Souls 2, Ponyland. There's a reason an entire area is named that, and it's all Crystal Kirin horses. Sometimes three of them at the same time. And they have the moveset of a goddamn boss. And they're a common enemy. Can you tell I have PTSD from that specific area?
It does seem like it.
Yeah. This has definitely brought out a little bit of that. whenever I was watching people try and grind the bloody thing. But yeah, moving on. We've had, I think, one of the biggest sins in gaming, in my opinion. Godfall. And I'm calling it one of the biggest sins in gaming because I cannot tell you a single good thing about this game.
It looks pretty.
Here's the thing. Even that, it fails at even that because it in game, in the cutscene, it looks semi-decent. In game, everything is so bloody shiny. It's an eyesore. Now I can get you having shiny colors in a game, but it's blindness level of shiny. Like every single thing is, it's like a mini sun in your eyes the entire time.
Well, they do make most of the surfaces glassy. So.
No, all of them. There is not a single surface that is not glossy and shining. Not a single one, even the bloody capes, which shouldn't be. And I think you can even see it in the trailer right now. Everything, every single thing is just a sun. A miniature sun looking at you. Every single attack, a gazillion sparks. It can be the most lame basic attack of the most basic enemy. It will set off a quintillion sparks into your eyes.
I know the creator's goal was to make it look pretty.
The creator's goal was to showcase... I can't exactly remember what it was. Some lighting system that they had for the next gen. And that's not the way to do it. Because I think that's the worst way to do it. Because they're showcasing it and they're sacrificing everything else for it. And I'm gonna say something that might blow the minds of anyone who has tried to play it. The game actually has an indicator for when enemies attack you. You also saw it in the trailer right now, by the way. Did you see it? The answer is gonna be no. Because it's so tiny and insignificant, and it can be blocked by your own character as well as every single spark on the screen. And it's a tiny triangle around your character. That's how you are supposed to know off-screen enemies are going to ram you right in.
Well, makes sense.
In a game where information is vital to your survival, the game refuses to actually give you the information.
That also makes lots of sense.
There's so much I could say about this one, but I'm just gonna move on before I make the entire stream about just this. That's its biggest sin. The fact that it's supposed to be so much... Oh, actually no, I do have one more thing to point out.
Okay.
You're supposed to have different classes, different armors, kind of like Warframe and Destiny and so on. All of the bits are the bloody same. They only have they don't even necessarily have all different effects, some of them. Like, yeah, sure, they're called, oh yeah, this is the poison one, this is the frost one, this is the, I don't know, the feather one, whatever. They're all doing the exact same thing. Just the elements are different. That's it. There's no different in how you actually approach the gameplay with the elements. All of the classes are the exact same. It's telling you it has like, I don't know, 20 something classes. No, it has exactly one class. With 21 skins on top of it.
Obviously, they didn't spend much time on that.
No, they didn't. They really did not.
So,
Okay.
you want to go?
Yeah, let's go before I find something else to complain about Godfall, because I can make an entire video of that alone.
I can see.
So, something good for once, because I've been going on with some of the bad. Something absolutely brilliant and good. The Stanley Parable, the Ultra Deluxe. Not only did I greatly enjoy the first one, but the ways that they have updated the new version and added on to it are simply brilliant. It's a more complete version than I ever could have hoped for. And the best part of it, and most surprising to me, they basically said, yeah, no, we're just gonna re-release it. It's gonna be the same as always. This is not the same as always. This is so much better. They've even included glitches that players used to do in the first one as alternate endings in the new one.
By the way, Sagi, did you have a comment?
Oh yeah, no, I was just saying that I really love it, and I actually have not played the original one. I've only played the new version, but it's definitely something else. Like, I've never played a game like that before, and I think it's just so creative. And it was like a good time just trying to find all the different endings.
No,
And,
I
like,
agree.
people coming in as well and kind of talk about how they first play it and how they still keep certain things in, as you said, which I think is a good thing.
Yeah, if you want to re-release a game, personally, I think this is one of the best re-releases I've seen in my life. And that's high praise, considering how many I've seen. And also, the first one, as Sagi said, very creative, very novel idea. We need more of this. We really need more of this creativity and ingenuity.
That's what indie games are all about.
Yes, so... remember I said we're gonna go on a trip to hell? Diablo Immortal. I know I'm not pronouncing the name right. Yeah, I refuse to pronounce the name right. It doesn't deserve even that much effort from me. Where, oh where do I start with this third? Maybe I'll start with the fact that to get a max character, you need to spend approximately, I don't know, $60,000 in game.
What? What?
Oh, you guys don't know. Oh, this is gonna be good. Okay, time to flex my knowledge on this little adventure. So, someone found out that the minimum amount required, remember, minimum, to max out a character is $60,000. Let that sink in.
That is insane.
Seeing as how I already did my rants on gacha games, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised.
Yes, but do you want to know what's the even better thing? Someone actually did something close to that, if not more. I can't remember the exact number that he spent. But he did max out the character. You wanna know how good the game is built? His maxed out character was unable to match with anyone because no one had even close to his power level. And he lost some of the stuff he paid for because of it. Because he couldn't fight to keep his title and the stuff that he earned. It was karma at its finest. Imagine paying to win so much that you lose. It's the perfect story for this and description for this game. The one game I know that you can pay so much in that you actually lose the game. Actually, no, I think that says all that I need to say about it. Actually, no, one more thing. The rifts, the way that they function. You have the option to add 1, 2, or 3 things that boost your loot. That's the option you see when you first try and add stuff. You wanna know what happens if you add 3 of those things? Do you want to add 7 more for only $7.99? That's something hidden until you add 3 crests thingies. You don't see it at first. If you are free to play player, you will never see it. And one of those things takes about a month to get for free. But again, you can just pull out the wallet, get 3 at the same time, and notice, oh, you also have the option to add 7 more. Do you wanna? Uh-huh. That's basically this game. I have not seen a game hide so many mechanics from players just to tempt them with hey, you could be better if you pull out the wallet tactic.
Any gacha game is like that.
No, you don't understand the gravity. Because...
Oh, I do. Oh, I do.
No, you don't. Because once you finish gearing up your character with the $60,000 that you used, guess what you find out? That opens up a new level that requires you to spend 6 times as much as you already did. That was the point in which most of the player base went, yeah, I'm not doing this. So, after spending the equivalent of $16,000 or more, that's when the game tells you, congrats, you've made it to the point where we can trust you with the information that you need to spend 6 times as much to finish up everything. And that's not even getting a proper build together, that's just getting everything in a slot. That's like the game saying, okay, now you can wear boots, gloves, a helmet, and so on and so forth, not just the chest piece. So disappointed with this. Like, I expected Diablo Immortal to be bad. Because, you know... Don't you have phones? It was brought on by Don't You Have Phones, everyone. So, of course, they had no idea what their audience was like. But for it to be this bad, I think it opened the eyes of many people to how bad some gacha games are, and this is among the worst of them. If not the worst. Now then, gonna move on from that to something infinitely greater and better, and that I can 100% recommend. AI, the Somnium Files. Nirvana Initiative. I played the original AI Somnium Files. It's a good mystery game. I highly recommend it. This one, however, kept me guessing for quite a long time. And I haven't had the pleasure of playing it just yet. But I did watch a playthrough with, as one of my friends did play it on his stream. And both of us were scratching our heads for the longest time with some of the things. The entire premise is very interesting. You're basically a detective with an AI companion that looks into people's inner subconsciousness and figure out who did the crimes and whatnot. And as you can see on screen, the subconscious of people is interesting. Very, very interesting.
Of course we are.
And I'm not even sure you can tell what is the dream and what is the reality right here. And they've done such a good job of messing with that.
I've only seen the original, so...
This is the... In terms of quality, this is the original turned a few levels higher. The humor is there, the jokes are on point, everything is just better. But yeah, this definitely deserves a mention. Highly recommend it. If you're into that type of game, the visual novel, definitely get this one. Next up, I think we have Sunbreak, the expansion to Monster Hunter Rise. This one I haven't experienced myself, but I have seen people play it. Absolutely fantastic expansion. It is on my only reference point with Monster Hunter expansions is Iceborne from Monster Hunter World. And so far it seems on point. So I like that one. Probably gonna like this one. Gonna skip that one and move forward to Outriders. With the World Slayer expansion. Outriders, I think, released last year, didn't it?
It did.
Yeah. It had a good start. And it kinda slowed to a snail's pace.
Yeah,
They didn't really...
It was always meant to be a game as a service, and it didn't do a great job at the service part.
Let's call it what it is. They wanted it to be the next Destiny killer.
Yes.
The
If only they
problem
knew
is...
what a Destiny game was.
Yeah. Like I'm just gonna call it out. They did their absolute best to even steal some of the animations almost straight out of Destiny.
Of course, why not?
But even then, here's the thing. They didn't have the best of stories. They didn't have a lot of things. Matchmaking was buggy, there were errors and so on and so forth. The sad part is they actually had a real decent chance at doing exactly that. And they messed it up because their endgame did not improve and continued to be just absolutely bad in general. And this expansion, it did not fix that. It did not fix any of the issues it had. So, moving forward.
Okay.
I'm gonna say it. The next game, the only other simulation game that I can remember in recent memory that had a similar impact was either that duck game or Goat Simulator. Power Wash Simulator, for some reason, is one of the most relaxing and loved games I have seen this year. And I cannot explain why.
It's very satisfying.
I know, right?
It's just like you can kind of like switch off your brain and just like clean, and then when you're done it, like the sound whenever you have that thing where you clean a part, it's just satisfying. And you just like, yeah, even the small thing, or when you finish like a huge temple, it's like accomplishment, but I guess you don't have to put a lot of effort into doing it.
Yeah, one of the things I noticed, a lot of games really depend on their sound design to make it work. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but a lot of games do that, and some of them do it very, very well. This is one of them.
100%.
I've never played, so
I think
Again,
it's
I've-
comfy time. It's cozy, and you can play with up to 6 people, so it's good collab as well.
I think
Yeah,
though,
that's the... go ahead.
I think though, if I ever played it and my parents saw it, they would go, you know, if you want to clean something, we have a couple cars out front. They totally would. I know it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It doesn't look like something that should have gotten so much popularity, but it did. And I can't explain why, but at the same time I'm happy that it did.
I think it's also maybe partly because it's easy to pick up. So like anyone of any preference or interest could just do it and play it.
Yeah, that's another thing. It's very accessible. There isn't exactly a skill requirement for this. It's just go in and have fun. Relax.
Exactly.
I can get that.
So yeah, that's Power Wash Simulator. Next up, somewhat controversial game in some aspects. Forza Horizon 5 Hot Wheels. Now, I'm not usually about the racing games and so on and so forth. Like, simply could not ignore this one, simply because so many people that I do follow have either played it, talked about it, or had an opinion of it. So I kind of got my opinion from them overall, and yeah, good game. It's okay. It's not, however, what some of the community wanted it to be, which I found very interesting, because some of the community were arguing, oh yeah, this is the next level in graphics and realism. Yada yada yada. I remember some people, even with the Game Awards, were complaining that this was not among the nominees for the visual design, which I found absolutely dumb. So I just wanted to point that out. It's a good game.
I played the base game. I never played the Hot Wheels part. I probably would not play the Hot Wheels part, just because of my fear of falling. All those loopy loops, that would drive me crazy. I don't think I could do
That's
that for
fair.
long.
That's totally fair, but they did good stuff with it.
I did think it looked neat, and heck, you're playing Hot Wheels. Come on. This is Forza, and not Forza, but Horizon.
Yeah,
So, Hot Wheels fits right in.
yeah, it really does. So, good game. It's not the end-all be-all, especially not for graphics, but good game. They had fun making it, and you can tell. And I think that's very important. some devs just go to it as a business, they clock in and then they're done with it for the day. Others properly look at everything, they put in the time and work. And I'm not saying they go, oh yeah, let's crunch this out, let's save 5 hours over program or some stupid stuff like that. But you can tell that they actually cared about what they were making, not that they were just waiting to get off shift. Now then, next up on the list I have Stray, but you already talked about it, so we're gonna skip that one.
Yep.
Cult of the Lamb is next. And this is another one that took the world by storm, I would say. I don't think anyone expected this to be as big as it got.
I know everyone I can think of was playing it at one point.
Yeah, I'm probably one of the exceptions, because I haven't actually played it.
I haven't played it either.
Same.
I think it's for me. It's because it's like everyone was playing it, so I'm like, no.
Yeah,
I don't wanna play
literally everyone was playing it. And it's a good game. Like, it's genuinely a very good game. It's cute, it has the action, it has the story, it has everything.
I know.
I beat it.
You're the rare exception in this group, apparently.
Yeah, I went and beat it. Then I think it was 3 weeks ago. One of my viewers was like, "Hey, why don't you just go ahead and try beating the end game on Lamb since we don't know what to play right now?" I was like, okay. I don't know how well I'm gonna do with a broken controller. Beat it the second time. Beat it the second time.
Nice.
I was like, what? Broken controller win?
I mean, did you want to break the controller?
No, it's an old controller, and so it's got like some of the keys are so like old that they're stuck and they like squeak and stuff.
Oh. Can't say I have a lot of experience with controllers, so apparently that's a thing. Noted.
It's a very like it's one of those old wired Xbox controllers. So
I have one of those.
I see. Okay then. Okay, now I think we're getting into the part of games that I have played, I have enjoyed, and I have quite a few things to talk about. Timesia. The first of the... Actually, no, we had a Ring already, but it's a Souls-like. It's very different from other Souls-like. And I can appreciate that it's very different from other Souls-like. My only complaint is that it was a little bit short. For my taste, at least. The
sorry,
setting is...
I need to go, Naka. Sorry.
What was that?
I said I need to go now. Sorry.
Ah, okay then.
Bye.
Fun.
Thanks for having me.
Bye. But yeah, Timey is, yeah. The setting is rather unique compared to other Souls-likes. Some people might be reminded a little bit of Bloodborne. I think it's a little bit less in the Eldritch department and more in the London is one heck of a drug department. No offense to London people, of course. But they had a field they wanted to go for and they went for it.
Stylistically, it reminds me a lot of Asterigos. But a little
Asterigos?
more London and not as much like Roman.
Yeah,
But yeah.
definitely. So that's one. Next up, we have Temtem, who, while being an older game, did see the full release this year.
Yep, early access.
I'm actually close to finishing the story on my own stream. Slight plug there. I do like it. It had a few things that I was a little bit confused about until it started all just clicking with me. And one of the things was the passive system. I couldn't wrap my head around it. until later on. Because each of these, I'm just gonna call them Pokemon for convenience sake. They are not Pokemon, they're terms. You get the idea. Each of the... I said that I'm gonna call them Pokemon, then I'll call them terms. Yeah, good job, narrator. Each of the Pokemon basically has two traits. One of two traits, I should say. Which is almost unique to their type. Some have completely unique traits, some share some traits with other teams. Some of those are completely negative, like 100% you don't want to have this one. And they're often used as a balancing mechanic. And what I didn't understand was why would you design traits, passives that are purposely bad? And later on I realized, oh, some of these actually counter very powerful moves and other stupid stuff that some of the other Temtems have. Sometimes it's actually good to have some of the worst traits on. It creates an interesting dynamic, and when combined with all of the other mechanics, the items, the fact that you can have two on the same team, the fact that some attacks get empowered depending on if you have a compatible partner on your team and that's out at the same time. It creates a lot of strategy that I really enjoy about the game. But other than that, it's basically Pokemon with completely different Pokemon, and I'm all for it. Next up, want to say something?
I was just gonna say, there's been a lot of Pokemon likes this year. And they're not
Yeah,
over,
it
because next year
has.
has another.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Gonna keep my eye out on that one.
Once you finish going over yours, I'll give some of my looks at next year, which is what I was gonna go in before you came back. So.
Okay.
And the one I know of for next year is definitely in there.
Okay, gonna pay extra attention to that section then. Next up, we have Steel Rising. Another Souls-like which has a twist. Both you and the enemies are mechanical, clockwork even. And it shows.
The main character reminds me of, at least a little bit, one of the characters from Persona 3.
Oh,
It was
Persona
also
3,
clockwork.
I haven't played that one. I don't think I have seen Persona 3 actually.
I have seen bits and pieces, but 3 does come out next year, early next year. So, I mean, the release on all platforms. So, yeah, you'll get to see it fairly soon.
Nice. Looking forward to that one as well in that case. But yeah, not only the fact that they've nailed how clockwork should feel like, as both opponents and yourself, you can see the movements. They kind of spring into action at times, which is very appropriate, I would say, for this type of device. They also have a lot of quality of life compared to other Souls-like. You can tell they are fans of the genre, and they did improve a lot on it. Personally, I'd put this up there with Elden Ring as among my favorite Souls-like. And that's about as good of praise as I can give it. It deserves it. My only dissatisfaction is the fact that I actually don't have a good enough graphics card to stream it.
Oh no.
I can play it fine, but I cannot stream it. I'm so mad about it. Also, Robotogo.
I did see that. Spring-loaded dog.
I hated those enemies. There's just something about dogs in Souls-like games. They're just the worst enemies possible.
I'll take your word
They'll-
on it.
They'll find a way to just catch you off guard. Even if you know they're there, you know they are there waiting, just ready to mess up your day. And then they mess up your day, because there's not much you can do about it. Disclaimer, there is a lot you can do about it, it just doesn't seem that way the first time you encounter them. But yeah, good game. Absolutely fantastic design. The art team, the entire cast, the entire dev team, fantastic job. Good on you. I've not seen a game this well done in a long time. Next up, Pathfinder, I should say. Wrath of the Righteous. I don't know how far I've gotten in the game, I'm gonna be honest. But the amount of laughs I've gotten out of just reading the descriptions of skills alone is worth the price.
Well, I played a little bit last year. I got to the first city, conquered it, and then my game was bugged and I couldn't sleep anymore. Anywhere.
Oh no.
And if you don't sleep, you just die. So,
Yeah.
yeah. I need to go back and make sure, they've actually fixed that at some point. Because I definitely need to play again. It is an amazing game, just from what I could play.
Just the amount of builds alone. Did you know you can actually play as a Pokemon Master and just capture your enemies and use them as Pokemon?
Well, it's Pathfinder. I totally expect that.
The amount of options in this game is insane. I remember the first 2 streams, not 1, 2 streams I did. And you know my streams aren't usually that short on average. The first 2 streams I did on this was just me reading the descriptions of the classes. Not the skills, just the classes.
Oh, I was there for it.
Oh yeah, I think you were there for it, weren't you? At least a part.
Yes.
Also, I have to mention, this meme, it's basically a meme on my channel right now. Inspire competence. Whoever made the name for that spell is a genius. Thank you. Now, whenever someone online is being toxic, I just imagine they are trying to use Inspire Competence, but they have 0 bard levels. And they fail. It's the most hilarious thing ever. Okay then, moving forward. Overwatch 2. I do not have a favorable impression of this one. It's basically just Overwatch 1, but they did a few sneaky things that I really don't like. For example, for us veteran players, we basically had to re-unlock... Actually, no, we had to unlock the character, same as everyone else. That should not be a thing. If there's one thing I absolutely despise in games, and I commented on Temtem, because Temtem has one point of the game that I hated. And it makes sense story-wise in Temtem. It makes 0 sense in Overwatch. Taking stuff from the players that they have already earned. I hate it when games do that. I can understand it when it's story. I can give it a pass. I will not give it a pass when it's just, yeah, we want you to play like, oh, let me check, 200 hours to unlock your favorite and main character again.
I'm just so glad. I'm not really interested in playing it ever. So.
Well, I was interested in playing it. They've made sure that I have no interest anymore. So I'm not sure if I should thank them or damn them.
A combination of both is probably good.
Yeah, probably. Honestly, if they did set my main hero to be a 200 plus hour grind, I might have considered it. And here's the thing. If you had it for the free-to-play players, the people who came after, to have it be a grind to unlock the characters and so on, fair. That's fair. But to take the characters away from the people who already paid the full price game, or whatever, they paid for the game initially, and just take it away, I don't agree with that. I also don't agree with some other sneaky, beaky little things they did when they removed the loot boxes, because of course they found a way to screw everyone with that as well. So for anyone who's not aware, Overwatch before gave skins with loot boxes. The thing is, during events, if you wanted to just save up the loot boxes, you could, and the next time the event came around, your loot boxes got updated with the new stuff. They didn't really like that, so what they did was forcefully open everyone's loot boxes, not really show you what you got from them, just be like, yeah, trust us, this is what you got. And then, the currency that you got from the loot boxes is not compatible with all of the new stuff. That's purchase only.
Makes total sense if you're the company.
Yeah, it makes total sense if you're the company. The problem is this. We're not. We are the players. We kinda want the thing that we have to, you know, be enjoyable. Especially after we pay for it. Even more so if we pay for it, actually. So this was quite an asshole move, Blizzard. And I'm pretty sure a lot of us did not appreciate it. So yeah, that's the tale of Overwatch 2. I don't know if they've done a lot after that. But yeah. Next up is Scorn, I believe.
Yes.
So Scorn is an interesting one. Many people weren't exactly sure what to expect from it. And a lot of people knew exactly what to expect from it, and they were kinda right. It's literally if H.R. Geiger made a horror game. A lot of it doesn't make sense. And for lack of a better description,
I'm pretty sure any game he made would become a horror game.
yeah. And for lack of better description, a lot of things have a lot of do look like phallic objects. Let's put it like that. That's his style. That's what he's known for, and this is definitely no exception. There's not much of a story to the game. You just dropped in here and have to deal with it. And honestly, I find it a little bit funny because that's what I'm actually expecting to happen if someone actually did get isekai'd. I expect them to just drop into this hostile world and have to figure out how it functions or perish.
I mean, makes sense.
Perish. Sorry.
No, it's okay, it's okay.
I was able to delay my leaving by an hour, so.
Ah, nice. I just have a
Welcome back.
smile from the way you say it. But yeah, it's a decent horror game. But if you're expecting a story or something like that, yeah, no, there's really not much to it. You basically get dropped into literal hell and have to somehow survive. That's basically the gist of it. Next up, A Plague Tale Requiem. And I've
seen so much about this one. I'm very interested in playing it.
Yeah, and I'm sure everyone else is. Including the people who tried to play it.
Is it that buggy?
Kinda, yeah. The vast majority of people I've tried to watch play it couldn't really play it. So, I'm not sure what
Why?
state it's in at now.
I guess you could say it has as many bugs as it has rats.
Okay, I didn't get to the part with the rats, but I'm sure that's probably accurate.
Well, that's the scene I always see them show off is the big... There's rats everywhere, and they're using torches to get through it.
Yeah, that's the basic idea of the game. There are a few twists in the first one, and I am genuinely curious how that works in the second one. But yeah, rats. They can be both your allies and your enemies,
The rat.
depending on how you use them.
The rat. The rat.
But yeah, I think they might have been a little bit ambitious with this one. Because as far as I can tell at least, it might be the fact that they went a little bit overboard with some of the settings and the world. A little bit too much loaded in at the same time and so on and so forth, and it causes issues. I'm not sure if they fixed it in the meantime. But I do know I haven't seen anyone else play it since it came out. And the people who I have seen play it, they didn't for long, so... Unfortunate,
Yeah,
because the first
I
one
haven't
was
seen it
very
yet.
good.
I haven't seen it a lot, so I was wondering what had happened.
Yeah, apparently it needed more time in the oven on the optimization front.
All too common these days.
Unfortunate, yes. Next up, Vampire Survivors. Wait, this came out this year?
Oh, this game is glorious!
It did on consoles, definitely.
It is
And
absolutely glorious.
It
Indeed.
is glorious. Such a glorious game. Oh my gosh. I play it from time to time on my stream when we're having like a chill stream or something. Before we started Pokemon, that is, I would play it as like a chill stream game.
Yeah, I have dropped in a few times and seen you play it.
And it is so fun. Basically, they took the concept of RPGs and what's the other game called? The type of game called Bullet Hells. Yeah,
Yes,
Bullet Hells.
Bullet
And then they're like, how do we mush these together? And they loved Castlevania art style, the old like gritty art style.
Yeah, they
And so
took the...
they were like mashed it all together, and they were like, this is what I got. And it blew up on itch.io, and it used to be on, I think it was a Newgrounds game, maybe?
It
but
might have been.
it was the very early version of it, and it was very popular then. And they came out, and they were only selling it for $2 on Steam.
Yeah, it was bound to explode at that price. Like everyone and their mother and grandmother and father and grandfather played it.
And I found it pretty early on, and then I think it was one of the big YouTubers started playing it. Who was it? It was, I knew Hutch started playing it, but like one other like big YouTuber played it. And I think after that happened, so many people found it, and then it exploded after that.
I think I found it just a little bit before the explosion in popularity. Like literal days before it happened. And I was like, oh wait, it's
yeah, I found it a few weeks
little.
before it exploded. A few weeks before it exploded, I was already at the point where I was basically unlocking everything, and I think I actually got to a point where I had it 100% unlocked until they started releasing all the updates, and I was like, oh no.
But yeah, they basically took the concept of RPGs, they reversed bullet hell.
Yeah, they were like, they turned all the bullets around you instead of like coming at you.
Yeah, they basically said, you know what? I bet those bosses are having fun kicking my ass when I'm playing it Toho on Lunatic mode. I want to be that boss.
Yeah.
I want to be the boss playing on Lunatic. And it works so well. God, I can't even fault the bosses when I play Toho these days. I'm like, God damn, you're having all of the fun, aren't you, you bastard? But yeah, it's such a simple concept and it's done so well. And it also, here's the thing that I really appreciate. It basically allowed other games of the same type to emerge.
Yeah, like the Hololive one.
Yeah, the Hololive one is one of them. And there's a different one I found that's actually a little bit closer to Vampire Survivors, but it's doing its own thing. Which is Rogue Genesia. I think that's the name. Not sure on the pronunciation. But yeah, this one also came out this year, technically, although it's still in early access. Can you put that one on screen as well? I don't know if I have it on my list, but I do want to talk just a little bit about it.
How do you spell it?
I'll type it, give me a sec.
Oh, I think I got it.
Yeah, that should be it. Yeah, that's the one, first one. It has a little bit more controls, like you do have a dash button, for example, which can get you out of the bind. The music is a different style. It's not the 8-bit fun stuff that you see from Vampire Survivors.
What is this game? I think I heard about it, but...
Rogue Genesia.
Rogue Genesia. Genesis?
Something like that. Not close enough, let's put it like that.
Looks interesting.
It is interesting. You can also aim some of the weapons, not all of them, which, again, it's a little bit different from Vampire Survivors.
Oh, for a game that's like Vampire Survivors and that, a lot of people might enjoy, it's 20 minutes till dawn.
Ooh, that one also.
I think this is definitely the category for you guys.
Yeah, it is. Personally, I feel like Rogue Genesia is it wants to be I want to say a bit more medieval and the Western medieval take on Vampire Survivors, while also still being very much inspired by it, but also doing its own thing. Like you have abilities later on, like stopping time for a few seconds, which are on command. Vampire Survivors has it as an item that you just pick up. There are a few interesting things they do. This game also has way more passive upgrades that you can unlock. It has special challenges that you can run. It's doing a lot, but it's its own thing at this point. And I think that's admirable. Hololive, actually no, it was HoloCure, right? The Hololive inspired one?
Yes, I think
Yes,
so.
HoloCure is really fun too. I play that sometimes on my stream.
Yeah, it's also a very fun one, especially since it's free and a fan game. My only complaint with it is that I feel like they're trying to take a bit too much from Vampire Survivors.
They were heavily inspired by Vampire
Yeah, they
Survivors.
were heavily
That's-
inspired by it, which again is fair.
To be fair, they're not selling it. It's a fan game.
No,
But,
no,
like,
again, it's
but
a
everyone has-
fan game, it's free, it's an homage to both Vampire Survivors and obviously the whole life talents. So again, it doesn't have to, but I kind of wish like it did a little bit more
I do-
different.
I do know that some of the characters that were released later on are a lot different compared to the earlier ones. They're not as inspired by Vampire Survivors. They're their own thing.
I mean, if they wanted to keep up with the characters themselves, the talents, you do have to diverge eventually. So I'm happy to hear that that is in fact the case. Okay, next up, Signalis. This one released somewhat recently. I've seen people play it. I actually do have the game. And from what I hear and understand and have seen, it's similar to the early Resident Evil games in some aspects.
The graphics really remind me from the games when I was little.
Yeah, it's definitely an homage to those games.
Like maybe the original Bioshock.
It does have a little bit of Bioshock, I think, in the feel.
I mean, not Bioshock. The precursor, whose name I'm now forgetting.
The precursor to Bioshock.
System Shock. That's what I meant.
Yeah, System Shock. Yeah. Also, not many people know this, but if you have... that's how I actually got it. Humble Bundle apparently recently has added quite a few things that are free to have as long as you are subscribed to them. That's how I got this one. It's on that list, so if you have the Humble Bundle month choice thingamajig, you can get this one for free at any time. So that's neat. Next up, God of War Ragnarok.
No spoilers.
I will not spoil it. However, I
know
will say this.
It is very good. I know that much.
I will say this. It has pulled off one of the biggest twists in gaming in recent memory. And I'm so happy that I was one of the people it did not fool. I was on that stuff day one. The second I saw the thing that they kind of hint at and that eventually happens, I was like, someone pick up the phone because I called this day one. It's such a good game overall. The story is fantastic. It builds up on the previous one. It adds a lot of closure in some aspects. A lot of story arcs are closed in this one. But it also leaves stuff open for the future. And I don't know how exactly it will continue, which way they want to take it, if they even want to take it with this universe, this version of God of War, and what is gonna be left at the end.
Well, I've heard.
I'm not.
I've heard.
Yes,
That
All right, now I gotta go. Sorry, guys.
no problem.
have fun.
Y'all have a good day, a
Have
good
fun.
rest of the stream. And thanks for having me.
A pleasure.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
But I've heard that they were intending this to be a duology. So these two games are going to be the only ones in their set. But that there will probably be, at some point, another set. Somewhere else.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The story for, let's say, the Norse mythology part of God of War is done. What I'm interested in is, will the next God of War... There's so many ways they can take this. And it's so hard to talk about it without spoiling anything. But I'm just gonna say there's multiple mythologies they can take this. And honestly, one mythology that I think would be very interesting to catch a glimpse of with how things developed so far, I think it's the Aztecs. I know it's probably not going to be the Aztecs, but I want it to be the Aztec mythology.
I mean, personally, I could see it with him going to India.
Ooh. Yeah, that might work. Many people are suspecting Egypt is the next one. But yeah,
Egypt
overall...
would feel like it had already happened. Because, he's from the Greeks. So...
Yeah, but that's the thing. It can have links to his past, callbacks, and so on and so forth. So it would make sense to have something that's a little bit closer to him after such a huge departure. Again, there are many ways they can take this. It might not even be about Kratos, the next god of War.
maybe I would just like to see Kratos with a bunch of six-armed people. And that's why I went India.
Fair. That's very fair. Kratos versus Asura's Wrath. Oh my god, that would actually be something. That's something to think about. But yeah, moving forward. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, I think, is next on the list.
Yes.
I'm gonna be honest, I've seen a lot of people hate on the game. And I've seen a lot of people who just genuinely really love what they've done with the game. And I mentioned before Arceus and the more open style of game it has. I think this is an interesting way to do it, what they've done here. But I'm not sure it's the best way to do it, if that makes sense. Like, I can't put my finger on it, but it feels like there could have been something else.
I think their biggest problem was all the bugs that I heard about.
Oh yeah, the bugs were definitely
It
a thing.
became the Pokemon meme to just show off the bugs. All the bugs.
Ironically, the one person I watched play this from start to finish never saw any bugs.
You must have gotten really lucky.
Yeah, like, his luck is phenomenal with this game. Zero bugs, like nothing. Zero, nada. Although, to be fair, I did see a few very slight and hard to notice pop-ins. And I only noticed them upon rewatching the stream. So yeah, for the most part, very lucky, very minor issues. There were a few side stories that I was quite interested in as well, so it was unexpected in some parts. And it was definitely ridiculous and absolutely nonsensical in others.
Of course,
Oh, yeah.
it's Pokemon.
Yeah, again, it's Pokemon. Overall, not a bad entry, I would say. Oh yeah, the car Pokemon, I just remembered about that. I was like, hold on, that's not a Pokemon, what are you doing, game? And then I remembered, oh yeah, the legendaries are bikes that can also fly and swim.
Oh,
Never mind, I'm gonna fight the car.
I forgot the other meme with this, which is the trainer girl who was a streamer.
Oh yeah, Iono, right? Something like that?
I don't know her name. Since I can't play it, I don't own a Switch.
The electric
So-
trainer.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's literally a streamer
Yeah.
with a VTuber design on top.
And it was a meme that Nintendo finally realized streamers were a thing.
Did they really though?
Some cliche of us, yes. I know it's a little bit different in Japan, but for the rest of the world at least, streamers have been a thing for quite a while.
I mean, come on, they've had streamers in Japan for a while. They've had VTubers originated in Japan for crying out loud. And I don't mean using a model, I mean the actual term of VTuber originated from Japan. Like, come on.
Yeah, but this is Nintendo.
Yeah, they take a little while to get hip with the kids, as some may say.
Which
Hello,
is
fellow
ironic.
children.
for,
Yeah, it's
you know,
ironic because they want to be like the company that's for children. And they're so out of touch with both their audience and children. It's hilarious.
Yes.
Next up, Warhammer 40k Dark Tide. Now, I've not had the pleasure of playing it, but I really wish I would have because I've seen so many people have fun with it, and I've barely dipped my toes into Vermintide, and that already is a ton of fun, and this just seems like the next step of that.
I've personally never been a fan of 40k, but it has looked like an interesting game to play if you can get some friends.
Yeah, exactly. Get some friends, burn some heretics, you know, the good stuff.
It's that classic horde battle.
Yeah, and it's done very, very well. Next up, actually I thought I would have more to say about it, but it's just a good game. Like, if you like getting your friends together and playing a horde mode game, this is a very good one for it. If you love Warhammer 40k stuff, this is an even better one for it. So yeah. Next up, Callisto Protocol. Now this one, however, I do have a few things to say about. and it's not necessarily harsh stuff, but it's more both. I think this is a bit on both the players and the developers. Because on one end, the players hyped it up as being the real successor to Dead Space. But on the other hand, the devs did the same. And it's kinda not. It's not a bad game per se. Like, it has issues, of course, and so on and so forth. But it's definitely not the Dead Souls. Yeah, new game coming soon, Dead Souls. I'll definitely play that one. No, Dead Space. It's definitely not the Dead Space experience that people were expecting and hoping for. The combat is almost nothing alike. And once you catch on to a few of the particularities of it, it becomes basically trivial, even the boss fights. As long as there's only one of them. The second there's more than one enemy on the screen, you have some issues. And that's another issue the game has. The fact that it doesn't... Go ahead.
I've heard, because I've never played, but I've heard that the combat goes from being too easy to too hard by just the difference of one enemy. So...
Yeah. If it's one-on-one, you can just keep on dodging infinitely and do actions in between, and you won't be interrupted. There's literally nothing a single enemy in the entire game can do if you just keep dodging, and it's super easy to do so. However, the second there's two enemies on screen, that plan goes out the window. Because if you dodge one of them, you'll almost 99% of the time get hit by the other one. And there's not much you can do about it. And I think that's a flaw in the design, where they wanted to have the original Dead Space experience with more enemies and so on, but they kinda noticed, oh wait, this doesn't work with our current combat system. Shite. Again, if you're going in expecting the next Dead Space, you're gonna be disappointed. If you're just gonna play it as its own thing, as a new IP, that kinda has the same vibes in Dead Space, then you're probably gonna have a decent time with it. Next up on the list, Choo Choo Charles. Now, this is a little bit of a engineering marvel because as far as I understood, there's only one actual developer for this. And it works.
I've heard, though, that it's super short.
Yeah, it is short. There is a lot of stuff that's optional to do, but even then, it's still pretty short. But again, for a one-man dev team, essentially, this is some good stuff. This is some impressive stuff. It's not necessarily the fact that it's innovative or unheard of. It's the fact that it's done decently well at almost all of the levels. There's a little bit of the story. There are a lot of Easter eggs and homages to previous horror games, such as Slender Man, the 8 pages. The train is actually terrifying. There's a lot of collectibles. Again, for a one-man team, this is impressive work. And honestly, when I first heard of it, I did not expect the game to be as successful as it was. But apparently this turned out to be one of the better horror games of the year.
I'll take your word on that.
Also, for just 20 euros, a little under actually, at least from where I'm at. Yeah, not a bad thing. As you said, it's not a long game, but it doesn't have to be a long game to be a good game. Also, I'm curious what the developer will do next with it. Because he definitely left room for continuation to the story. I'll put it like that. It doesn't feel incomplete, but it feels like he could go somewhere with what he's left in. Which again is a masterful performance that many fail to do so. A lot of people just sequel bait very, very hard. And others just finish the tale and then it feels kind of awkward to return to it. Because, you know, the story is done. It's done. What's more to happen? Why is Palpatine back?
So, your last one?
Last one? Wait, last one already? Oh yeah,
Yes.
the other ones were just the sport ones all combined into one.
Yeah.
Last one before that, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt Complete Edition. And I think also the upgrade that it got?
Yes, next gen.
Yes, the next gen upgrade.
Which I've played, so.
Yeah, I want to say, I have seen you played it.
Yes, the day before I got sick, I played it. So I haven't been able to play it since, but we'll
So
see.
since you have played it, the most recent probably out of all of us, what are your opinions of the next gen upgrade?
I think it looks a good bit better. It's been a long time since I played the original, so it's a little hard to tell. And I can't turn on ray tracing, really. If I do, I drop under 60 FPS. So I get like 40-ish, I think. It's really hard to tell because for some reason my frame counter doesn't work actually inside the game. So.
Okay.
But it feels
And
like
that
it's
was
in the
while
40s.
streaming, right?
Yes, but they're on two machines. So one plays the
okay,
games,
okay.
one does the streaming. So,
Okay, I see. Understandable in that case.
yeah.
But yeah, overall I would say it's the perfect time to jump in if you haven't already by some miracle. Like, I'm gonna put this out there. If you like RPGs,
Or
why
action
haven't?
games.
Or action games. Or just games with a good story in general. Why haven't you already played this one?
Or finished, in my case.
Wait, you haven't finished the OG one?
Nope.
Okay, Fran, I need to finish up this so I can kidnap Kami and tie her to a chair and have her play it.
It is definitely going to happen.
Good. It better. I'm just messing with you, of course. It suffers a little bit from the Skyrim syndrome, I would say. Actually, no, the Elder Scrolls syndrome, not the Skyrim syndrome. Where there's the main story, but the side quest, though.
Yes. I think I got sidetracked at some point, and I never came back to the main story. I don't know. I'm a side quest sort of person, so. And there's always a side quest somewhere.
Understandable. I just realized something. There is one game that I think I've left out of this.
Oh?
And it's ironic because it's probably one of my most played games. I didn't even realize it was this year. And I think it's the reason for that was the pre-purchase for the expansion was last year, but the expansion itself came out this year. Guild Wars 2, End of Dragons.
Okay.
Just gonna make it very fast because I'm obviously very biased about it being one of my main games. But holy hell, they knocked it out of the park with this one. Like, I cannot find a fault to it as an expansion to the game. The boss fights, the story, the new stuff they added, all of it A+. I was literally looking down the list and it hit me. Hold on a second. One of these games came out at the same time is around that expansion. Why did I not talk about it? But yeah, in closing, we have all of these sports games. WWE, there's also Grand Theft Auto 5, for obvious reasons that will come to light very, very soon. We have NBA, Madden, NFL, blah, yada. Probably a FIFA title lost somewhere in the list as well. And when I gave you the list, I made a single sentence at the top, which basically encapsulates all of these titles. Stop making copy-paste games, goddammit. I remember there are a few channels that I watch that have made comparisons between some of these games from year to year. The player faces in Madden NFL have not changed at all in more than 5 years. It's the same player faces. Like the exact same ones. Some of them multiple times over within the same game. I have not seen a level of copy-paste and laziness with a game in my life as the ones that somehow gets by in the sports scene.
Well, you have to have your new title every year because the rosters change.
That's the only thing that changes, sometimes not even that. Most of the roster is the same.
I'm mostly kidding. I don't remember which company it was, but one of the non-EA brands, they put out like a patch every year with the new players and rosters. It's not.
Was it Activision?
I don't really remember.
It was either Activision or Ubisoft. I can't remember which one of the two bastards. But it's one of them.
But I think that's probably a better way to do it. Toss out a patch.
Yes, tossing out the patch is a decent way to do it. Copy and pasting over 80% of the code, and that's something that people have hacked into and proven, by the way. Not to mention that they are so incompetent at their own jobs of deceiving players that it's a new game. I think either the 2020 or the 21 Madden game, either the Madden game or I don't know, it's such a common thing with these games, I don't even remember which one did the big mistake. But one of them came out and they forgot to change the year in the game.
I'm not surprised.
Like, it was literally the same blank with the year on it. They just copy and pasted it. Literal copy and paste. And they added a patch very, very fast to get rid of it so they don't come under fire, which of course they did. I have no idea how the sports industry get away with so much BS.
Too many people are just willing to pay for it. That's how it happens. Especially when you toss in gacha. I mean, that's why FIFA makes, like, stupid amounts of money.
Yeah, but you don't understand the level of how bad this is. For example...
I do.
For example, on the same screen, when selecting a certain player's face, there's like 5 faces that are the exact same one. No difference. They're just there to boost up the numbers. On screen, at the same time, as options, as separate options, is the same face. And 2 of them are even next to each other. That's how much effort went into that.
Yep, I'm not surprised. Since I'm not the big sports fan, I don't think I've ever bought any of them.
I haven't either. It's that thing where I'm impressed at what other sides of gaming is doing. And I've learned this the hard way, unfortunately, with bloody horse armor and whatnot. If I want to stay on top of what's going to happen in gaming, I need to watch out for all of the corners of gaming. Because at some point, some of it will bleed into the rest.
Well, anytime a business person thinks it's a great idea, it's gonna keep happening.
Yeah, unfortunately.
So, do we want to jump to the games of next year again?
Yes, unless someone else has something else they want to add on.
I think
at
I'll
this
have
point-
to go because it's pretty late for me.
Aw,
Have fun.
okay.
Yeah. Thank you guys though.
Have fun.
Yeah.
Have a
Take
good night.
care.
Bye, Sagi.
But yes, I do need to go myself sometime soon. So,
Yeah, sorry, I had the huge ass list.
it was a big list. It was longer than mine, so. But I do have a bunch of trailers for us to run. My first one that I'm waiting for next year, or possibly next year, is Judas. I don't know if you guys have seen it.
I
The trailer
have,
came
in
out a
fact.
little bit ago. It's from some of the devs of the Bioshock series. So, it's gonna have some Bioshock twists. It seems to be in space, on a space station. Something has definitely gone wrong. So, but you also do seem to get to your augments, however you want to call them. And it looks like you might be one of the sole survivor types. So, but I mean, more of the Bioshocky type thing. We can always use a little more of that, as long as it's good. So we'll have to see.
Yeah,
But,
if it's well executed, I'm all for it. Because I did like the Bioshock games.
yes. Let me jump back over here. Falling Frontier is the next one. I am a total fan of sci-fi. So, yes. A good-looking sci-fi game is definitely what I want. And, in this trailer, they don't really show much except pretty ships. But they're very pretty ships.
I was
I
about
would
to
like
say,
to play with them.
what type of game is it? What genre?
I
Is it a
believe-
strategy game or?
I believe it is a combination with strategy and action.
Oh, okay.
I do not know the details though. All we have to go on are things like the trailer. So. But the trailer looks badass. So I definitely want to see what it looks like. But, I like the ships. Give me all the pretty ships.
Yeah, the ships definitely look nice.
Yeah. Looks like you get to tweak them with whatever sort of guns you want or can find. And based on the side, I'm gonna say the battles are probably mostly strategy.
Oh, wait, this actually reminds me a little bit of Stellaris now that I look at it. If you know the game.
Yes, I have played only 500 or so hours.
Oh, okay. Better compared to the insignificant me in that game.
But, yeah, I definitely want to see what it actually looks like.
Fair, fair.
And I keep looking at this trailer. I want to see what the end product actually looks like. But let's jump to the next one, which is more sci-fi. This one is Atlas Fallen by Focus Entertainment. I do not remember the story, but I do remember it is set in the future, and I believe it's more of an action game. And the trailer is not really showing me what I want to see.
Yeah, it's not really showing gameplay.
I think they're about to, finally. But it is not so much the sci-fi part. It feels a little bit like Horizon now. Lots of desolate places. With sci-fi bits. Like rebuilding a bridge with something like magic. And monsters. Because of course there's monsters.
I mean, come on, you can't have super advanced technology and or magic without having monsters. Those go hand in hand.
Pretty much. I don't think we know any real details yet, except that it definitely seems to be an action game. And it's that fantasy sci-fi mix. Pretty clearly. But I definitely want to see more. And figure out what the heck is actually going on.
I would say though, usually when they try and mix sci-fi and fantasy, they tend to either lean towards one or the other, but this is a nice balance between the two. So I'm definitely looking interested in this.
And apparently with some boss fights.
I mean, you gotta have at least some boss fights for a few moments. You can't really have a good action game without at least a few boss fights here and there.
And because I need more sci-fi, we're gonna jump right into Scars
Obviously.
Above. Though I think it's running... Oh, it says HD. Okay, it just didn't look HD. Yeah. All we know is some satellite comes into orbit. And by satellite, I mean foreign object. And, we go to visit. And then things happen. It feels a little like, what was that? Not Eternals, or, Returnal. That was it. It reminds me a little bit of that, but, more exploration, not as much gunfu. But, it definitely does have weapons. Then some good old tactical Mythical Breach Wizards. I just want to
Ooh,
see this.
I
one.
saw this one. I saw this one. I'm
This looks
very interested
hilarious.
in this.
And yet,
Yeah, it
fun.
looks absolutely fun.
I also like how they're targeting the police. Because, of course, that's who the wizards are going after. Oof, that was not good. Gunned down by the turrets. But, yeah, I definitely have to play a little bit of this. I think it's co-op, too.
Yeah, I do believe co-op was one of their selling points. I might be wrong.
I do seem to remember it, so... Yes, let's stop World War V. But,
World War V. Apparently, World War III was fought with nukes. World War IV was fought with sticks and stones, and World War V is with magic and stuff.
apparently,
Obviously, the logical evolution of things.
yes. Now next, Kerbal Space Program 2.
This is a
So-
funny one. I don't know how this will turn out, but I hope they keep the silliness from the first one.
It looks like they're doing a decent job, at least from what we've seen. And I was definitely a fan of the first one. I could never fly the ships to do what I wanted, but, yeah. I never successfully docked one ship to another. It was my single failing in the entire game. But it was so hard. Docking is hard. If you've never tried, you just don't understand. But,
Docking is hard. Nakami June 2020.
it is, or was. I tried using this little tool.
The reason
but,
I'm laughing so hard at this is because there's a very different meaning to docking, and
I
I feel
know.
like, okay, just making sure.
But yeah, I had to use a tool to try to give me, like, autopilot, and it never quite worked right. So I could never make any of the really big ships. But, I'm one of those crazy people who have sent off ships to, like, the moon and taken 2 real-world days for my craft to get there.
Damn. Why?
It was a different time. Besides, the game broke if I sped it up too much, so I couldn't fast forward too well. But
Fair enough.
on to Eternites. This game looked really sweet. It's super anime. You apparently play as this guy who gets, like, some weird blade shoved into his arm. For reasons unknown.
It's the
And
usual thing of getting a sword into your hand.
he works with a bunch of cute girls, as of course.
Of course. As you do.
Yes.
And the bike for some reason, apparently.
I think that was a weapon, but it's hard to say. Yeah, his hand.
But you are aware the two are not mutually exclusive, as Devil May Cry has proven.
True, true. And of course, his hand is also a tentacle as well as a blade. It's very versatile. You know, just wave your tentacle at the girls. That's the way to attract them, right?
No comment on that one. Next.
Yeah, it was the one part that always makes me laugh in that. Next up.
Why is that a thing? Do I want to know why that's a thing?
I'm just gonna skip ahead to Alterium Shift, which is a cute-looking pixel JRPG made by Western devs. I played the demo. I've actually talked with some of the devs.
Oh.
It's looking pretty sweet. They have a new demo out now. I haven't played it. In the one I played, you basically randomly got assigned the guy you got to play. Or girl. I got the annoying guy I didn't really like.
Aw.
But apparently now you actually get to choose which one. So that's a huge improvement as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, running around town, collecting ducks, going out into the wilderness, and blasting enemies, fighting a treant. You know, average, everyday stuff. But I think they're gonna do some good stuff, so I'm definitely looking forward to that.
Yeah, it looks to be a fun little game. I
And
said
here-
little, it's probably gonna be a lot bigger.
Here is the other Pokemon-like. Power
Wait,
Ups.
I was about to say, is this Pal World?
Yep. It is a completely weird game, but I still want to try to play it.
I'm so worried about it because this can go only one of two ways. Either it's a complete scam, or it's like one of the best games ever. There is no in-between with this.
I'm sure there's some in-betweens, but
I mean, yeah, sure, but just from... If half the stuff they show here is in the game, there is no in-between. It's either gonna be fantastic or it's gonna be horrible.
I'm sure it will be both.
Yeah, but which side does it lean on? Is it so bad that it's good?
That's
Or
what
is
I'm
it
hoping.
just horrible?
We'll have to wait and see. Should be out next year. So, we'll find out.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna look forward to seeing it.
Then here, it's another, sci-fi-ish game.
Forever Skies, right?
Yes. Definitely post-apocalyptic world, but, it's Earth. It looks kind of pretty, though. And we get our own airship. So it reminds me of, like, Airborne Subnautica.
A bit. I can definitely see that. My worry with a lot of these games that look very well is that that's all they have going for themselves.
Gonna have to
Because
see.
that's definitely been a trend at some point. Like, it
It's
looks
definitely
fantastic,
got some ideas.
but it's a horrible game. Not saying that's gonna happen to this one, but...
I just
We
really
do
want to
see
see
some
what they
gameplay.
come up with. Some things are obviously a little bit rough. Like the interface for that PC.
Yeah, obviously. No one's expecting you to have a complete game, on before launch. What matters is what you do with what you have up until that point.
Slapping some nano goo on your ship to repair it. In the middle of a storm. Oh. Hey, little star.
I mean, as long as it works, right?
Yes. I just want to see it. It looks like a very interesting idea. I like it. And maybe there is some underwater, if that's what the green goo was. You never know. I think I have one more, which is Blue Protocol.
Oh yeah, everyone I know is excited for this one.
I hope it's good.
I think it already released. The question is if the port will be good.
It has not in Japan yet, though very soon.
Oh, it has not yet. Okay.
Yeah. Plus, we got the official announcement of when the global launch is. I think it launches in like February, if I remember right, in Japan, and then a couple months later for us. So.
Okay.
But, yeah, I do want to play this. But then again, I am a fan of anime games.
That's fair.
And I need something to replace, my sort of current obsession of Tower of Fantasy, which wants to take all my money, and I don't give it any.
Good. Do not give in.
No. But the last event, they wanted me to spend, like, enough for, like, 800 pulls. I'm not giving them that much money.
How many? 800. Did I hear that right?
Yes. To
Nope.
complete the event
Nope.
would be about 800 pulls.
Yeah,
worth-
no.
not worth it.
That's a no.
Not worth it.
I did like 80, and then I ran out of my free-to-play cash. So, yeah, and I didn't get anything I wanted, so yay me.
Classic gacha games.
Yeah. That's why you need something new. Hey, little star. We're doing pretty good. We're at the very end, though, I think. Because, yeah, I think that's my list of upcoming games I'm looking forward to. And, we just finished talking about all the games of this year that, we had an interest in. So, any last thoughts for you two?
If I may,
Sure.
the last year has been a lot of ups and downs, and I feel like a lot of people have only seen the downs. So I'm kind of happy we had this discussion and brought up a lot of the ups, because it was definitely more upsides overall than downsides.
I mean, we try.
Yeah, we tried, but looking at the list, all of us had at least a few games that we enjoyed. And I think I was the only one who had like a huge ass list of games that I was like, yeah, I'm gonna just nail you all to the wall for everyone to see your sins.
I mean, I had a few of those in there. Like, my brain stopped.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. The good outweighed the bad. And I think that's something to remember and to strive for in general. And I'm hoping the next year will be as good, if not better, in terms of games. Because we definitely had some very, very good games this year.
Yes. I mean, there's other games from this year I would like to play, like Chained Echoes, that we didn't talk about. But I haven't played it, so I can't really say too much, except that I'd like to play it. Oh, and the Judgment games came to PC, even though it looked like that would never happen. I would like to play those, but I haven't. There's a lot of that. There's a lot of that. Oh, and the remake of System Shock is supposed to come out in March next year. Finally.
Oh yeah, speaking of games that should come out next year, there's this tiny little game that I've had my eyes on. The Pale Beyond, if you've heard of it.
Doesn't strike any bells. No.
It's basically a story game with a lot of resource management, survival, and all that. But it's a lot more choice-based, if that makes sense. More of the visual novel style. I've been following the development of it for a while, and apparently they've decided on a 2023 release date. No exact time given, but I suppose that's to be expected.
Yes. I mean...
But yeah, looking forward to that one. I've always appreciated games that have this... whatchamacallit? That have this scenario for if something doesn't go according to plan in the story. And it just keeps going. And... Kami, why are you going mini?
Sorry, I was adjusting my brace, so...
Okay, then that was a bit out of nowhere. But yeah, I do love it when games basically plan for your failure, but don't force it. It's something I find very interesting. And a lot of games just give you a, no, go and do it right this time, or nope, game over. And I don't think one mistake should be a game over in a game. Especially not a story game. Now, of course, it depends on how big the mistake is. Because there's a difference between forgetting to go to your friend's birthday and instead of cracking open an old one with the boys, you crack open an ancient one and destroy the world. There's a bit of a difference between the two mistakes.
Or failing to save the world at all.
Like I said, crack open an ancient one.
Well, I was thinking more your party disbands because you can't get along. And, yes, the world probably needed saving still, but, you're not in the quest anymore. Who knows what
Oh, you
it
mean
is now?
your party goes to save... Oh, that's something I haven't seen. Your party goes to save the world without you and kicks you out. That's something I haven't seen before. I've seen where your entire party turns against you because you're like, yeah, you know what? Hey, big evil enemy boss guy. You know what? I see your point. Can I still join you? Is it too late? Do I have to sign something? Yeah, no, okay, we're good, we're good. Okay, so my former friends, due to my new allegiance, you now have a choice. You either join me or die. I so lost it when I saw that that was an option in Neverwinter Nights 2. And the game is old as hell. Like, I don't consider it spoiling at this point. The game has been out for years and years. It's bloody ancient.
It's like 20 years old, so.
Yeah. It's older than some of the people who are probably watching this.
Probably.
But again, the fact that you can just do that is fantastic. The fact that you can actually weaken or refuse to do some quests to strengthen the position of the town and then join the bad guy because you always wanted to actually join the bad guy, so you never wanted to help the people. And that will actually have lower defenses and all that. That's even better.
Yeah, that was released in 2007.
Close enough, I would say.
Yes, it makes me feel very old now.
But yeah, I do love it when games do that, when they offer that level of freedom, when they take into account the stupid choices some players may make. I love that. I loved when in Neverwinter Nights 1, you could just decide to, yeah, you know, this is my life now, and just stay with the Dryad in the woods for the rest of forever and abandon the main quest. And be like, yeah, no, this is my life now. I'm gonna be chopping wood with the Dryad. We're gonna be eating shrooms and stuff. What, the fate of the world? The plague? People breaking reality? Not my business. You youngsters go handle that. I'm going with the sexy Dryad. That was literally an ending, and I cannot forget about it. It's so ridiculous. I did not expect that to be an end. I expected literally anything else to happen. I expected the party to be like, no, this is dangerous. She's tricking you or something. Nope. They were like, yep, okay, go ahead. We'll, you know, see you around, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, and speaking of, one final note, another game that's supposed to be coming out next year, Baldur's Gate 3. I'm expecting that level of nonsense from it.
Oh, yes.
I'm hoping for that level of nonsense.
Actually, you know, you should join me and Neff as we play the preview. Since the final preview is in place, you can get up to level 5 and explore some new areas that weren't in the earlier builds.
Oh yeah, I think they also had the Paladin, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'd definitely be up for that.
I don't know when it's gonna be, but we started playing a while ago. Then she got busy with work. And now the new patch is out, and we want to play again. But we need basically Christmas to end before we can try.
Yeah, no, definitely add me to the list.
Alright.
I've been looking for people to play that. I'm sure it's gonna be a wonderful game. I'm sure many people will play the intended way. I'm not gonna be one of those people.
Yeah, actually, we were mimicking the characters we played in a D&D game, or campaign, I guess you could say, that we were both part of, that broke up because everyone got too busy. But yeah, we were doing that in Baldur's Gate 3. It was interesting. Definitely interesting. But you can only get so much done in one stream, so We definitely need to
That's
play
true.
some
That's
more.
very true.
Yeah. But I should really finish up because I need to go make dinner. So,
Yes, I think I've derailed enough. Go ahead.
all right, let me find someone for us to raid. I think we're gonna go visit Zen. I haven't visited Zen in a bit.
Okay, seems like a nice idea.
Mm-hmm. There we go. One raid created. I have his stream fired up. So I'm all set. I should be back playing something tomorrow. I don't know what it's going to be. But, yeah. At least for a little while, I plan to stream tomorrow. At my normal time, which is 4 p.m. EST.
Yeah.
So, look forward to that. I no idea what it's gonna be. No ideas. But, I'm gonna play something. This went pretty well. So I think I can get back to streaming for a bit. But with that, have fun, take care, and I'll see you later. Bye.
Bye, everyone.